GNT Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT Show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Bowega where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 220. I'm Terry Lynn.
Joe Lontrue, bitches. I'm back. And welcome to Hater Studios here in Douchebag City in Douchebagistan.
He's been saving that one for
just
a while.
off the script.
You had
I was
no
going to say
idea.
he's been saving that one for a while.
For a week. Well, first there she is to my right, your left, wearing her pink sequined gown with the sash that says Miss Beard 2016. It's Terry.
Hello, boys.
Good morning.
There he is to my right, your left, frantically holding on to his beard so that I don't shave it off and sell it. And that's all from the pre-show. It's Ceridium.
Kapla. No one touches another man's beard without
That's right.
permission.
And there she is, kicked back on her beanbag chair, smoking her cigarette in its holder. It's Jesfa.
Good morning, everybody, and how are you? I've seen things already today that I'm not so sure I should be seeing. So, it's going to be an interesting show.
So
Welcome
let me
to the
just
GNT
say,
Show chat room.
What did you do this week? Coffee Clutch.
so let me just say,
Awesome.
Sorry I wasn't here last week.
Well, you hung
I was
over.
kind of passed out.
You were kind of hungover, weren't you?
No,
you weren't
I was
even
passed.
hungover. You were still
I
out.
didn't get to bed till like 6 o'clock because let me explain. Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let's make room here for the bumper. This is Coffee Clutch. There you go.
So
Thank you.
there's a group of models that I follow, the cosplayers and fetish models, and they're called My Geek Goddesses. And I've tweeted and Facebooked and emailed with one of them, Kirsten, who is an absolute hilarious train wreck of life. And I mean train wreck in like the best possible way. Like filters don't exist in her world. And like at midnight, I got a tweet from her in all caps. It was like, "Yo, Gettysburg." And these two other girls are here. Where the hell are you? On her Twitch. And it turned into just doing shots over Twitch together and talking. And I think at one point, I even tweeted it. We were talking about the X-Men, and she was like, "Jean Grey is a thirsty-ass hoe." That's the way the conversation was going. And it was just, and I didn't mean to stay up that late, but the party was just going hard.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. And
Yes.
there's another GIF that I'm just kind of like, ow. Chat room is on fire this morning. Sunset.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. We were a little worried.
Oh, I was out. And
Well,
when
I
I say
figured
I was
so.
out, I was Romulan Al out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I figured something was up when you didn't tweet back, so I figured that you were either still sleeping and needed the sleep, or you weren't at home.
So this week sucked.
Well, yeah, kind of did.
What do you mean, kinda?
Oh,
Fucking
kinda.
Bowie, man.
And Alan Rickman and Brian Bedford, and
You Bowie.
I know, but you have to understand is
No,
No.
Bowie.
no. See, I feel that way about Rickman.
For future audiences, everybody died this week.
Everybody died.
This is a
No,
it was a
Bieber's still
Shakespeare
alive.
the show is
play.
coming here
David Bowie
via
died.
seance.
Bieber's still alive.
It was like Hamlet. It was like the end of Hamlet.
Or an early David Mack novel.
That's a good one. It was. This was a David Mack novel of a week. I like it.
We love you, David.
We do love you, David,
It's a
but
goddamn
damn it.
Ridley Scott movie.
Shit, no kidding. Yeah, I was as I posted on Facebook. I was when I was young. I was never really a Bowie fan. As a matter of fact, he kind of freaked me out. And by young, I mean like 8 or 9, okay?
22, 23.
But it wasn't until the 80s that I began to understand.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah,
Really?
seriously.
Diamond Dogs?
Yeah, seriously, no. You have to remember, Nick. I was raised on completely different kind of music. So what
It doesn't
was?
matter. Good music is still good music.
Well, I'm not telling you it wasn't good music. I'm telling you at
Did
8
he
or
scare
9,
you?
I thought a
Did he
guy who
scare
was
you?
dressed up like
Yeah, there you
Iggy was a little bit of a weird thing, and I just didn't. His music was pretty much everything that I listened to, but not pretty much everything I didn't listen to. So I thought he was just weird.
He was just 5 years ahead of his time in everything he did.
Everything he did. And like I said on my Facebook page, I don't think his music became pop. I think we evolved to meet his music.
Yeah,
And
they caught up to him.
Yeah, we caught up to him, and by no stretch of the imagination do I believe that he was ever not talented. But again, it wasn't until the 80s that I kind of went, oh, okay, well this isn't so bad. This is actually pretty fucking awesome, and went back and picked up and listened to a bunch of his music, and then I went, oh, I get it now.
The list of people, that book I told you that Janice got me for Christmas about Please Kill Me, about the oral history of punk. The list of people that he influenced, the New York Dolls, because and all of that, and television, and Richard Hell, and the Ramones. The Ramones were influenced by Bowie. Lou Reed, who Bowie was influenced by, then became influenced by Bowie.
Right.
Iggy Pop, they were really good friends, he and Iggy Pop. They did a lot of collaboration. Blondie, the Talking Heads, all of those CBGB bands. And then disco was influenced by him as well.
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly. I think, too, is what I found truly amazing is I had no idea he had a new album out or even a new video or anything like that where you could tell, I mean, it's blatantly obvious now that he knew that he was dying and that he knew that he wasn't going to be around this world much longer, and yet still found a way to make art out of life.
It's going to be amazing as the years go on, and the basement tapes, whatever you want to call them, stuff that he worked on and just didn't, or that stuff he was experimenting with comes out.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
Trent
So,
Reznor,
Mikey,
he
what
was
did
a
you do this
huge
week?
influence on Trent Reznor.
I know, well, that too. Mikey, what'd you do this week?
Let's see. I copy edited. I'm still in the process of doing it, but I copy edited Janet's novel.
Yay, Janet.
Her next one. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Played some video games. Timelines is out, so I have been nose deep into my cell phone. Just having fun.
And Miss Janet?
I've been dealing with somebody's copy edits on my novel.
I knew that one was coming.
Thank you very much. It's an enormous help. It's one of these things where I look at that and say, oh yeah, oops, oh yeah. Like a character is in uniform in one sentence, and then 2 sentences later, she's suddenly not in uniform, and it nothing indicated that anything changed because whoopsie.
Oh, so she was visiting my cabin. Hello.
Oh, there you go. Except she's are you interested in a short gay doctor from Hyderabad?
Okay.
Why not? Anyway, so there's
like,
that. Sure, what the hell? And what else? Not really that much. It's kind of the calm before the storm because classes will start on the 25th. So I'm at the point of where I'm still panicking and saying, "Send me my stuff. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's going to be so much to do." And then and then I stop panicking after a few weeks. But this is panic mode. So I'm currently fully ensconced in panic mode. So
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I'm going to panic for a while.
Yes.
I made something Star Trek. Unofficial Productions.
So you know what I learned this week, Terry?
What's that, Nick?
It's kind of a wide statement to make, but I'm going to make it anyway.
Oh God.
I'm really starting to hate Star Trek fans.
Oh, not all of them.
Oh, but there's a subset. Oh, there's a subset.
I know.
I have a question. I'm just going to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody can answer this. I'm not going to mention any names. What exactly constitutes a hater?
Somebody who doesn't agree with you.
That's it. That's what I thought.
That is the current definition, and that definition was created by gamer gators and sad puppies.
Oh.
Yeah, son. I don't even think some of those people are purists. But whatever.
I love the fact that a certain subset now are starting to decide who is and who isn't a real fan.
Oh, I love that real fan TM. And if you don't get that joke, you never will.
If you dare ask anything, any kind of question, and don't bow at the altar of some people, you're just not a real fan.
I know. Well, that's their opinion. We know that that's not the real case. And
That's
this has
okay,
been going. This has been going on in the fandom forever, right?
It's obvious. Yeah. They're all being paid to say that. I'm going to say that because that's what anybody who says anything that they don't like has said.
Oh, that's okay. Did they say that I was blowing somebody?
Have they made that? Okay, no. Did you know I work for CBS?
Our texts are late,
honey. If we were being paid by CBS, number one, we would probably have an NDA, and number two, we'd so not be doing this show because we would actually have money. Yeah,
we'd have
third.
Wow.
I would no. John Van Setters would fire me real fast.
I think so
because my Nan Baco shit would all be out.
I know it, but you know what? The fandom's been going through this for 50 years now.
This is just insane.
I know it's so silly.
This is just insane, and I don't know if you guys said this last week, but I want to say it. If I'm the head of the Red Cross and I get a salary, that's okay. If I'm the head of the Red Cross and I get a salary using marketing stuff of Disney's without their permission, that's not okay.
Exactly. We did say that last week.
You fucking dimwits.
And maybe we should kind of draw a distinction between not profit, not making a profit, and charity.
Right.
Not the
Good
same
point.
thing at all. So, holding up the Red Cross as being the same as every other nonprofit isn't right. Mm-hmm. Holding up the Red Cross as being the same as someone who doesn't make a profit, or maybe isn't even intending to make a profit but ends up doing so anyway, is also not the same. This is kind of adding a sheen of like a halo effect, there's the term, onto something that maybe shouldn't necessarily have such a halo. And once again, exactly what Nick said. Red Cross, head of the Red Cross can take a salary? Hell yeah, of course that person can take a salary. Absolutely. No reason why they can't eat. It's no problem, folks. But if they make their salary on the backbone of an IP that they don't have permission to use, guess what? That ain't allowed.
That's right. It's so simple. There was a wonderful. Now, seeing as though we're moving forward, let's just put in the bumper here if we were to talk about.
Oh, I would have fit it in.
You would have fit it in. Okay, well then
before Nick
let's read that bumper in.
Okay, then we're, as you guys can pretty much figure out, we're still talking about unofficial productions and in specific the Axanar Brouhaha. That's a good way of putting it, right? A brouhaha, a brouhaha.
You go ahead and call it that. I've been calling it something else.
There was an interesting and kind of a unique and wonderful article that came out that outlines, what is it that people don't seem to be getting about copyright law. The basics. I mean, just the very basics. And Mike, did you have that one? Did we keep that link about that blog that outlined?
Do Star Trek fans not understand copyright?
Yeah, because I really thought that was really well done. Very, I don't want to say it wasn't a short article.
And it was written by a Star Trek author.
Right. And
they're a hater,
no,
and they're not a real fan either.
see, but you know what? The Star Trek novelists have been getting that shit since the moment they started writing. I mean, I even have to admit, when I first started, look at the shit I give them about Picard's Spawn.
Well,
It's a Picard Spawn. Okay, I give him shit because of Picard Spawn. I'm not fond of that, but I started off that way, Nick. I started off with, I hate the novels. They have blah, 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 blah. And then I got over it.
well,
But
okay. No, because
I'm sorry.
there's this argument being put forward. Well, if CBS would give us what we like, first of all, doesn't
So
give
what?
you a license to break the law.
Right.
Okay. Second of all, I was put in the very, very uncomfortable position of defending Into Darkness this week.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Write this day down in history, folks.
No, because this fucking toolbag, douchebag, scumbag motherfucker was going on and on about how it was universally panned and
What?
it made no money, blah, blah. And so I said, it got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and a 90% from fans. And it's the second highest grossing Star Trek movie. And of course the
Ever.
response is, well, you know, the people that post on Rotten Tomatoes, it was 300-some thousand people, and they don't have critics post, they go by what's printed in the papers and online and all of that from basically credentialed critics.
Well, CBS is giving fans what they like.
No, well,
It's just
no,
they're
Mike.
giving the new fans what they like. They're not
Right.
giving the
No, that's
traditional
Paramount.
old school.
That's
Oh,
Paramount.
excuse me, Paramount. They're not giving the old school traditional fans what they like because they're no longer the target market. They're
But
no
here-
longer who they're trying to please.
Oh, that is very true.
And I also told this scumbag that, you know what? Plenty of people say that Deep Space Nine, they still say it's not real Trek because they weren't on a ship and they weren't exploring.
Oh, and look at all the grief that Enterprise gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
was
the
like,
same
no, they're not
thing.
making something you like.
Exactly.
Your criteria is, well, they're not giving the fans what they want. These petitions, okay, 15,000 people signing an online petition. Okay, I wipe my ass with that. That's how good it does.
Just wait till George R.R. Martin gets his hands on Star Trek. Everybody dies.
Well, I'm just
Actually,
so-
Much like 2016.
Oh, and then this human pustule says, well, Into Darkness was rated the worst movie from what I read at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention. I was like, I was at that convention, okay? First of all, it was a joke. Second of all, if Galaxy Quest is on the list, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt that it's intended for.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, and here's the other thing. If you took every single person, and I hate to be, I'm not telling you that this is right or wrong. I'm just telling you the reality of it all. If you took every single person who attended the Star Trek Las Vegas convention and you made, and they did not go see the next film or did not watch the next series, it would still be a drop in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
25,000, 30,000 fans does not a market make. You have to remember is that they're not seeking out 25,000 people's approval. They're seeking 1 billion people's approval by having them watch their show or buy the products that advertise on that show. So as much as we would love to be able to say that we have some kind of a standard that we get to hold up and say, oh, we are the end all be all and somehow we're important, in the big scheme of things, we're really not.
Okay, first of all, Keith DeCanado, I think it was that said it. Fans don't own Star Trek. Stop acting like you do. Okay?
Oh, God, yes.
Stop it. You
We
don't
had shared
own
that link a few weeks back.
Yeah, we
but
did.
You're right. We just didn't discuss it. Go ahead.
Secondly, oh, Terry, you were saying something. What did you say, Terry? Because you touched on something.
Oh, I was just
Drop in
talking
the
about how,
bucket.
yeah, we are a drop in the bucket. That when it comes to the market that is truly out there, the tens of thousands of quote unquote hardcore fans are just not the market.
Oh, but there was something you said that oh, god damn it. Because it was something I've been thinking about all week. Oh, okay, here it is. If anybody listening to this has Netflix and has watched any original Netflix series or any original Amazon series or anything that's streaming, but you have the nerve to go and say that CBS is full of shit because it's going to be on the stream, go fuck yourself with a moldy dildo, okay?
Ooh.
Because you're the biggest fucking hypocrites. I'm so tired of this bullshit hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Okay, because some people I know that are just raving about Netflix original series are then turn around and go, oh, it's bullshit that CBS is going to stream it now. But they don't owe you to put it on regular network television. They're using it to launch original series on their stream, much like, Paramount used Star Trek to be the anchor of its new network when it had a network.
Right.
It's fucking business. And you may... Oh, and if I hear one more person say they're going to boycott, then fine. Tell you what. Send me all your shit. Seriously, if you're that pissed, send me your shit.
Well, there is this unusual, and we kind of touched on it last week, I think, Janet, that we talked about, there's this mentality, there's this anti-capitalist mentality that is coming out of not just Star Trek fandoms, but a lot of different types of fandoms, especially gamers. There's that whole, oh my God, it's just nickel and diming me to death, man, right? It's like a free-to-play game, and it's the same shit that Star Trek Online took when they put in the lock boxes. It's like, it's just fucked up, man. They want me to pay money. They want me to pay money. And I just laugh. And I'm like, okay, why are people in business why do people create a business? Why do people go? It's not to give you shit for free. It's not to what it is. I know. It's like,
well, when I was in high school, which, when dinosaurs roamed the planet. So I was on the back of my brontosaurus.
But let's all take a moment to think of Janet and her little school universe. I know. Her little school costume.
Anyway, when I was in high school, I remember my...
That was me.
Stop that. I did not go to Catholic school.
That was me. Anyway,
when I was in high school, I remember my advanced placement English teacher. And... I remember her going around the room, and there were like 11 of us in this class, and she asked us, why did Shakespeare write? And we all said something like, "Oh, he was, trying to express himself and artistic." And she looked at us when we were all done because we're all 16, 17-year-old idiots, and she looks at us and says, "He wrote for money, you morons."
Yeah, you're trying to feed
a roof over his head.
16 kids or something.
Yeah, he had children to feed. He had a wife. He needed clothes.
Right. And they wore a lot of clothes back then.
Everybody else. I'm sorry?
They wore a lot of clothes back then.
My God,
they didn't wash them.
Yeah, and they didn't wash. He wrote for money, and so does everybody else. Like it or not, that's precisely what people do when they publish stuff. It's a different story when you put out fan fiction. That's a different story. But it's kind of the social media online economy has kind of destroyed this for some people. And I know Dayton gets offered this all the time.
Oh,
thing,
about the exposure thing?
Exposure kind of crap.
Although we can't really say shit about that because we don't pay Dayton.
I get that too.
But he does it knowing
we all get it.
He doesn't know that? Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said it.
Oh, okay. Knowing that.
Yeah.
He does it out of the goodness of his Dayton
He does
heart.
it out of the goodness of his heart because trust me, he ain't getting shit for exposure from us. So yeah.
Well, we did get him on the New York Times bestseller list.
That's true.
There's sort of this thought that exposure and sharing points are the same as money, and I'm not going to say that exposure is 100% zero. That doesn't make any sense. That it's absolutely nothing. I mean, it is helpful to get your face and your stuff in front of other people. But the idea is to get them into what is called a marketing sales funnel so that they buy stuff.
Right.
Because the more that it's shared and whatnot, this is lovely, but that ain't paying your bills.
Right.
Well, if you have cable or dish, which pretty much everybody has to now, you're
And-
paying already, just like if it's a streaming service. What do you think, AMC is on regular channels? Oh, I hate
I
them
know.
all.
I know. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to play devil's advocate and flip it on the other side real quick. Over last weekend, apparently some people attempted to break into Aries studio in order to face it.
Well, that's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
Don't fucking. What are you, fucking nuts? Not
No,
you.
that didn't-
To the people that
yeah.
did that, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's fucking bullshit.
And again, the I support CBS group. There was an individual in there that wanted to do that or suggested that they should do that.
No, it's
That
private
is
property.
totally inappropriate.
Absolutely.
it's
Inappropriate.
private
That's fucking
property. It's
illegal. And
breaking
that's
the law.
burglary.
Of course.
And,
Of
that's
course
fucked up.
That person was kicked out of the group really fast after.
Yes, but it's like,
That's a hater.
that is a hater.
Or
But,
somebody whose money
again,
they want
that
back.
type of activity, that type of thing is not constructive. It does not help anybody.
No.
It just makes people or certain groups look even more crazy
Agreed.
or less crazy or
More
it's-
sympathetic.
Yeah. So I'm just, please, can't we all just be civil? Can't we all just get along?
No, we
of
can't,
course
Mike.
not. But
Well,
So that's
I have a
fucked up.
question for the law-minded among our panel here. Correct me if I'm wrong, because in my business, by the way, parentheses, Janet, I thought it was cute that you were like geeking out over what I was doing at work this week, parentheses. Correct me if I'm wrong, because as a public affairs professional, when I'm asked by a reporter about something that's going on here, a very real thing, like $600 million worth, and I say I cannot comment on due to pending litigation.
Yes.
My office does not go on various platforms and bad talk other people and give updates and all of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't no comment or I can't comment mean no comments at all?
Yeah, it kind of means that you shut up.
Yeah.
Or you bury yourself?
Not that you control the message by cherry picking who you're going to talk to.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with saying I don't want to talk to you. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm not going to be a part of your show. I'm not going to answer these questions. You're giving me an opportunity to rebut, and I've said okay, I'm not going to bother. That's a different story. But when you're pinning it on the whole idea of counsel told me not to talk, and then you turn around and start yapping elsewhere,
Well, and typing
that kind
counts
of
as
makes me wonder
talking
about
for those
that.
that are confused. Typing and posting on social media
Well, it's all
counts
public.
as
It's all
talking.
public statement. It's
Well,
published.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's
And
published.
I don't know if you guys talked about it last week, but did you let the audience know that we're a bunch of haters and misinformers?
no, we were
and
saving
liars?
that for you. We were saving
Yeah,
that
we
for you.
were saving that for you.
We're liars.
That's where the whole douchebag Stan thing came from. This.
And Janet's not a real lawyer, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and I was called an ambulance chaser, which is awesome because that's what plaintiffs' attorneys are called. I
say
only
we work
worked in defense, folks.
Let's put it
Plaintiffs
this
and
way.
defendants are different. Okay, this is real easy to look up online. By the way, I'm very easy
It's
to
much
find
easier
online.
You're a hater, Janet. You're a hater because you ask hard questions.
I'm more than willing to let people, or that hey, do it whether I want you to or not. Feel free to
Yeah.
Google my name.
don't- Just a little something for authors, filmmakers, TV writers, musicians, call girls, anybody that wants to come on our show. Don't say you want to come on because you want to answer, then turn around and say, oh, I can't, and then talk a whole bunch of shit about us and call us names in emails that we still have, and then
Yes.
go out and post stuff. If you're too scared to answer questions honestly because we'll call you on bullshit, just say, hey, I don't want to talk to you because, well, frankly, you're going to ask me questions I can't answer. Or if I answer, I'll be exposed because you have screenshots of something different I said.
Or hey, just say I don't think terribly well on my feet, and I feel it will be unfair, and I'm not going to look that good. I'd respect that. I'm totally cool with that too.
Yeah.
But don't tell me that it was because of advice of counsel, because you turned
If you were
around
really
and started
paying
talking
attention to that
elsewhere.
advice, you would shut the fuck up.
And if
Thank you.
if you're going to call us liars, at least have the balls to come on our show and say it to us.
Oh.
Say and tell us where we lied, and tell Janet where her education and all the money that she dropped. She's not a lawyer, because I guarantee she can produce the stuff from the bar that says she is. That's all I'm going to say.
And
Yeah, I'm not worried
more
about
than
that.
happy to
Yeah.
do
No.
that. And
You know what I'm saying, Terry.
I do.
okay, by the way, I am blogging about this. I'm just waiting to see where it's going next before I drop the blog. And there are going to be some pictures. They're not terribly good pictures because they come from my phone, but I didn't retouch them because, these are the actual real live photos of my diplomas and also my
please.
admission certificate.
Janet,
Oh my
I
God.
can order diplomas online from anywhere that look real. Someone sent me a fake journalism degree from University of Maryland as a joke one time. That's true. I wish I still had it.
Was it the University of Maryland?
Yeah. School of Journalism. You can order fake diplomas.
I know. It's
But
stupid.
it's just
Well, the fact of the matter is the answer is allegedly due in court. I think on Tuesday. It might be Wednesday. I think it's the 19th, so Tuesday, because courts are closed on Martin Luther King Day.
yes.
They will not be able to file their answer on Monday, and therefore, given the but even still, I think it's Tuesday it's due. Be that as it may, they may have received an extension of time in which to answer. The other side, CBS and Paramount's attorneys may have given them a grace period of 30, 45 days. You never know. And the court may have agreed to say it's okay, you can take some extra time to answer. We don't know. I don't know if that has been filed with the court, the request for an extension. I do not know if they plan on filing their answer and what form that answer may be. There are several different ways you can answer to a complaint in court. You can either file what's called the answer, which is usually just full of general denials, taking each individual cause of action or allegation that's made in the original complaint and saying we deny this, we deny this, we deny this, we deny this.
That's
And
one thick document.
it really will be. And because it was what was it, a 60-page, or it was crazy how long the complaint was, but
Something like
it'll
that.
be
It was
full
very
of,
long.
it'll be full of general denials. And that's the answer. They also can do in federal court, I think they still, oh yeah, absolutely. You can still do what's called a demur. A demur is an attack on the original complaint for for being technically incorrect with certain things. Identities of parties. If you need to correct the identities of parties, you need the defense would typically attack the complaint on those technical incorrection or corrections like dates or locations or anything along. If there was something technically incorrect with the actual original complaint, then you would file what's called a demur, and you would attack the complaint on that, saying this is technically incorrect. They need to go fix these things before we will answer. And the court usually says, okay, the original complaint is technically incorrect on these items. They have now what's called leave to amend, meaning that they now have the opportunity to amend the original complaint and refile it, and then the whole thing starts all over again. So it's very possible we're not going to actually see the opening of discovery on this case for at least another 90 days. So this is why lawsuits are long and expensive, folks, because they take because they're tedious, and they're tedious for a reason. They're tedious because everything needs to be done in a very particular order, so both sides have a fair shot at getting their story out in front of the bench or the court. So it'll be interesting what happens this week. I do not know if they're going to file, and if they do file, what they end up filing, whether it be an answer or a demur or some other form of response, maybe even a request for mediation and taking the whole damn thing out of court for a little bit in the hopes that they can settle the case.
Since I was gone last week, Terry, 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
First, Mike, you all touchy-feely. That's why you have so many restraining orders against you. 2,
Me?
Mike.
Oh.
In the chat room, he said he could never be a lawyer. He's all touchy-feely. 2, if you're a fan of some fan production... Oops, I just typed something I didn't mean to. I was typing a note for myself. Put it in the chat room. If you're a fan of a fan production and your entire defense for Jim Jones is that other fan productions have done this or that, you're nothing but a douchebag, because CBS isn't suing them. They're suing your fan production.
A lot more is going to, like we said last week, a lot more is going to come out about this, that it's going to be it's just going to be really, really sad for the fandom as a whole. I mean, there's no doubt that what we're dealing with is a bunch of very passionate people who really want to see Axanar made. And
there's a difference between passion. Okay, but speaking of passionate people, and if you're going to come after me, come after me. But if you're a Marine, let me explain something to you, okay? I was a paratrooper for 28 years, got 9 combat tours. You don't scare me. You're nothing but a rabid fan who of something that was never made. You're taking the word that the script is amazing. But more importantly, why you don't scare me? I was married twice. Okay? You're nothing. You are absolutely nothing.
Well, they're just using. Yeah, go ahead.
They're bullies.
Yeah, they're just using Gamergate. They're using Gamergator techniques.
But they don't. The
sad
thing. Part is, Gamergators know what they are. These people just think that they're defending.
Oh, no. I think that a lot of Gamergators truly believe that, and with that deep passion, absolutely. I think that. I don't think they do it just to be mean. I think they do it because they really believe that they need to be defended. And I think that the Marines feel the same way. And they
if those
do.
Marines are so tough, we announce what conventions we go to. Come talk to me face to face and say the shit that you say online to my face. I'll bet you don't have the cunt hairs to do it.
And there you go, folks. There's a Nick.
No, they are nothing. They are.
I'm not saying they're doing.
They are worse than vaginal cancer.
You're talking to somebody who. I totally get it. And the fact of the matter is that really, if these people are going to come to physical blows over a fucking Star Trek fan fiction production.
No, but see, I don't think that they have the balls to say in person to somebody's face the hate, the real hate and discontent that they spew out.
I agree. But that's the same, again, that's the same thing. They all operate from the shroud of the internet, right? This Gamergator mentality, which is, we can strike from under the cloak of the internet. That's why women are getting swatted, right? It's the same shit. Is they can attack from this nebulous, they don't really know who I am kind of thing, and I can make their life a living hell. Well, fuck that.
If they think they're making my life a living hell, they're making me laugh.
Well, no. I'm just telling. I'm not saying.
No, I'm just saying. No, but
I'm acknowledging you are correct. There you go.
You goddamn right I am. Hear that? You hear that, Lady Renegade? I'm correct.
I heard it too, Mike. All right, we need to move on.
I was going to say something completely offensive, but I decided to decline.
Yeah.
We have other stuff, lots of other stuff.
We have other things we need to touch on. Be that as it may, we do have a couple of links regarding the attempted break-in at Ares Studio, the crowdfunding.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Breaking in.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
That's a fake. That's a fake, folks. You do realize that?
What?
Yeah, that's just an old picture of before the set was built.
So there was no break-in?
Yeah, there's no break-in, as far as I'm aware.
Was there? Do we know if there was a police report?
No, I don't think there was anything like that. I think that's all that was. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that this was anything for real.
Huh.
But I invite anyone who has more knowledge of that to come on the show and tell us and give us proof. Police report would be great.
Not that we're not taking people's words for things regarding this whole thing. You know, not that people's words aren't enough, but they're not.
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay then. Well then.
Oh dear, our chat room just took an ugly turn.
What else is new? That happens every week. So, interesting. So and then the final link is an updated guide to the Axanar litigation from SM Oliva, who happens to be just but a wonderful professional writer who's been following this whole thing, and I think for the most part has been pretty damn level-headed about the whole thing, very factual.
She's a lawyer as well. She writes.
I love reading
the legal information for websites.
Not a lawyer, yeah.
She used to be a lawyer. She writes the legal terms and whatnot for websites.
Okay.
That's her business, and this
I love
is her
her.
personal
Hers has
blog.
a sense of humor. I love it.
And now we can. Okay.
Sorry,
but kind
SM
of on the
Olivia
heels.
is a guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I didn't know it was
his name
her.
is Skip.
Okay, Skip. Well, I was known as
My
Fred for a long
apologies.
time. I don't know. So,
Were you really?
me? Yeah.
Oh, please explain.
My maiden name is Frederick.
Oh God, this
The
is like
truth
that
comes
scene
out
in
now.
Midnight Run. What's the name of this establishment? Red's Corner Bar. Are you Red? Yes. Do you dye your hair? No. Then why do they call you Red? Because my last name is Wood.
Actually,
was
mine
Head
makes far
Desk.
more sense. Mine makes far more sense. But on the tail end of this discussion, with regards to just the brouhaha that's been coming around with regards to not just Axanar, but the concerns that we have about all unofficial productions, there was some news about the new television show that came out.
Grab the remote. Star Trek's on. Television news.
The article /film that came out took a couple of quotes from the president of CBS Television, which is one of the subsidiaries of the parent company CBS. Don't forget, everybody, this is a big fucking corporation. Saying that they are not creatively involved with the new Star Trek series, which is kind of not surprising. Because it's not being shown on CBS Television.
Yeah,
it's going to be shown on All Access, which is the streaming service, which is its own separate company.
Yeah, but that's not to say that the CBS, the overall umbrella doesn't have. They won't have eyes on it. I mean, they may not be dictating, but they'll be kind of overseeing everything.
But CBS, they will. Ultimately, they will have ultimate control. If the thing doesn't perform, and the president or the person in control of All Access doesn't make corrections doesn't make moves to correct that performance issue in that television or that show's in All Access, then CBS up above is going to be saying, fix it, or we'll
so right now, Les Moonves is not involved. If it tanks, he will be.
Right.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it was with Enterprise.
Yeah.
Right? CBS Television.
Well, there was a new UPN.
This is actually a good thing, because
and that was the thing,
I'm not convinced UPN ever had leadership.
I think
that's why they're gone.
Well,
wasn't Barry Diller? Wasn't he UP?
I don't know. All I know is that it wasn't
names.
Performing up to either UPN's standards, because they were the ones alleged or making money off of the sales of the ads. And there's an argument that could be made that CBS pushed for the 4th season in order for it to become
syndicatable.
Or yeah, I guess that's the word.
I think that's the word we're looking for.
Syndicatable.
I don't know if it's a real word.
What?
Or not.
I just did something.
I'm
Leave me
thinking of
alone.
Syndication bait.
Syndibate.
Isn't there a store for that in the
I was
airport?
gonna say,
Cinnabon?
that sounds like the name of a really good stripper.
Oh my god.
Now coming to the stage, Cinnabon. Girls.
Oh, so take that for what you will. The fact remains that CBS All Access and its creative team and the showrunner, Mr. Kurtzman, and his team, and the people who have the creative control over the
I
show
think
will
this
have
is a
creative
great thing.
control.
I think this is a great thing because it's going to they're not going to be held to the constraints of television.
And I think that's
in
what
its-
everybody's
in its
fear is, right?
traditional format. So we could have sex, we could have drugs, we can have rock and roll.
You
We
mean
can
like
have
Enterprise?
sex.
Well, but
Iggy Pop is captain.
even more so than in Enterprise. I mean, they could quite literally, because it's on the internet. It could be like Jessica Jones or Daredevil compared to,
You
Agents
mean
of S.H.I.E.L.D..
we might actually have a doctor that treats people who are bleeding?
Yeah,
Holy cow!
I mean,
shit.
this could be some really amazing shit because
coming
they're
on
not
the beard with
they
coming
could
on the
do-
bridge.
they
This
could
beard
do
all wet.
what they want to do rather than kind of sort of being, oh, you can't, the network censors come out and you can't show blood, you can't say the F word.
my
you can't,
question about that, the F word's a big one, but
it is a big one, but you know what I mean.
Even if it was going to be airing weekly on CBS, I think the networks have changed enough, even in the last 10 years, with shows like CSI and NCIS and all of that, where they would be able to get to do more. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is part of Berman and Braga, they kept it more because of.
I don't think that T'Pol's ass is G.
Which for
It's a G thing, baby.
some networks that showed it actually did not show her ass. So
I don't know what Matthew Anderson's putting in the chat room, but I gotta like it. Oh, is that coke off her ass?
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
So,
God, I
yeah.
miss the 80s.
I really don't. Yeah, well, and D'Onofrio, or I think it's D'Onofrio
It's
in the
Vincent
chat room.
D'Onofrio's here.
I love D'Onofrio is here. Yeah, he says if they make Star Trek CSI, I'll be like, "Where are the hills? I'm running." I don't blame you. I don't think that that's what we should be seeing. I think that what we should be seeing is just
if
an
it was
updated.
on network television, I can understand that a little bit more. But this is no.
And
not-
I'll just
not-
repeat. See,
not for
my
All
biggest
Access.
fear. I would rather have Star Trek CSI than Star Trek Starfleet Academy 90210.
Mm.
That's where my fear is. My fear is that we're going to be getting JJ versus Starfleet Academy
But if that was the
and
pitch,
teen angst and all sorts
If
of.
that was the
"Ew,
pitch."
he won't fuck me, huh?
if that was the pitch, and that's all we knew, and you say that, but then it comes on and it kicks ass,
And we get
I'm
what
not going to
Felicity, and
say
we get Star
any-
Trek Felicity. If we get Star Trek Felicity, I'm running.
but it wouldn't be aimed at you anyway.
Correct.
We get back to what the audience.
And that's exactly right. I wouldn't watch it. Then I would be okay, done. I wouldn't watch it. So big deal. I would still do my fan fiction. I would still watch the other 5 shows. And then maybe in 20 years I'll watch it and go, oh, okay, this didn't suck as bad as I thought it did. Like
Okay.
everybody did with Enterprise.
Taking the whole R Trek thing out of it, what do they need to connect to today's audience? Look at me
Apparently,
positing a question.
well, to today's audience. Well, here's the thing. What are the shows that do the best on streaming services? House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, Jessica Jones, Daredevil.
Making
It's
a
got to be
murderer.
action. It's got to be action-packed, edgy, maybe a little
Yep.
dark. Although I would really hope that we don't see that. I would hope that they kind of embrace the optimism of the show. Doesn't mean you and don't misconstrue me. That doesn't mean I don't think you can make a very aggressive show. And the one thing that I always, again, it bothered me about DS9 and it bothered me about a couple of other shows was the actual danger never felt dangerous enough. I think that they should be able to kill off characters. I think that you should be able to show the price that is paid by these people in order to do the right thing. And therein lies the rub. I don't like people bending their own ideas of what is right in order to just win. Sometimes doing what's right means losing.
No.
Yeah.
Why do you play a game?
Kind of reminds me of the episodes that we watched this week. Actually,
This reminds me of a conversation I had with the lovely Janice over Christmas. Why do you play a game like Monopoly?
Oh, me? You're asking the wrong person because
No, I'm asking why do you play?
I play Monopoly just to fuck with the person who's trying to win. I play
No,
for the tie.
You play to win the game.
I
The
play
great
for the
Herm
tie.
Edwards.
I do a data, and that is if you want to really piss off somebody, you do it.
Yeah, you play not to win.
It's like
you play just to keep up.
strategem, right?
Yeah.
You play to win the game.
No, you
to
really
quote the
don't.
great
Sometimes
Herm
you play to
Edwards.
piss the other person
See,
off,
it's
right?
all strategy. It's all, head games.
By the way,
If you
D'Onofrio,
want to piss someone off, the quickest way to do it is not to win.
Is this D'Onofrio's? He says short attention span theater.
Sure, which I would disagree with because binge watching is not short attention span theater. It's quite the opposite. You go through 13 episodes of Jessica Jones or 12 episodes of Daredevil or House of Cards or Orange is the New Black, whatever. That is not short attention span theater.
Right.
What's happening now is people are watching, and if you listen to the first episode of the Gettysburg Address, like James Kerwin said, it's 13-hour movies is what they're making now.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
I love it. And what's funny is that it's counter to what they tried to do in television in the 70s, which was the miniseries, where it was 2 or 3 nights, 6 hours usually.
Yeah, it was all about ratings.
But see, it works in the same way, and that is counter to the idea of the penultimate or the weekly cliffhanger. It's
right,
like what we got or what we were getting, and sometimes with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because I do think that we do have short attention span theater, but there's a weird mixture going on right now of people love their long form binge watching of 10 shows, but that commercial makes me laugh, but show hole is a very real thing. You finish a series and then you're just like, oh man, I finished Making a Murderer last week and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do now?
Jenna?
I think what we're actually experiencing is that people want to kind of self-tailor their viewing and their entertainment.
Yeah.
So if they've got 16 hours to binge watch or whatever, then they'll do that. And if they have 5 minutes to watch, then they'll do that. And they want to be able to dip in, watch what they can, and then move on to something else, or dip in and watch while they're doing other things while they're multitasking.
Our entertainment has become very Chinese menu. You can choose from column
yes,
A,
it
the
is.
long
Thank you.
form.
That's
You
the
can
word.
go, I've only got 10 minutes. Let me watch this thing on YouTube.
And that
Perfect,
mentality
exactly.
crosses over into not just television, but it crosses over into also how we play our games. Why is it that so many MMOs have so many different types of gameplay in them? You can take a couple of days and level a new character all the way through, say, or you can jump in for 5-10 minutes and play the more technical aspects of it, like the card playing portion of it, the trading card portion
get your
of
DOFs,
it. Get your
get out.
duty off in Star Trek Online is duty officers and the Admiralty system. Or if you have more time and you don't want to just get bogged down in all the little minutia of it, you jump into the game and you play the longer aspects of it, and you can do this for days at a time. It's the same with television. It's just we have that ability to choose how we want to be entertained now, and all CBS is doing is providing us with that alternative with the new Star Trek. It's going to be an interesting experiment, and I have a feeling it will probably be successful regardless of how the 25,000 or so fans who call themselves purists will see it.
I'm interested to see what they have, if anything, in Vegas for it this year.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Oh,
It's
Mike, you
gonna
gotta
be
get some
so
new
much
shoes
fun.
and throw it in the bed under there. I can't wait.
All right. Let's see what else we can get to before we need to talk about these 4 wonderful episodes for 50 for 50. Real quick, Mike, do you want to talk about book news?
Okay.
Tell me a Star Trek story. Book news.
Let's see. Let me get it into the chat room real
Oh,
quick.
sorry, honey. Okay, cool. It's some nice news. That means it was a successful book and still
Cool.
is.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew's memoir, Born with Teeth, is now available in paperback.
Which is wonderful news. Congratulations, Ms. Mulgrew. Means that, usually biographies, I don't know. Janet, do you see a lot of biographies going into paperback?
Not really. I think it's a specialty thing, it seems. You're either interested in this person or the character maybe that they've played, and so peripherally you're interested in them, or you're just not. But it doesn't seem to go into printing after printing like fiction. Not to say that it never can, but I think you do see less of that unless the audience seems to be a lot more targeted.
Interesting. Yeah, I think so too. It's but again, congratulations, because I think that's kind of a nice move for that book. It must have been, at least in hardback, it sold well enough to think that it would sell again as a paperback. So yay.
Yeah, that's
Good
cool.
for her.
Congratulations.
All right, we do have a lot of gaming news that we need to talk about. So let's just get to it.
I want to play a Star Trek game. Gaming news.
All right. Star Trek Online first.
Yeah.
Not a lot there.
No, there wasn't, but that's okay, because they usually take the people at Cryptic Studios, they work their ass off all year.
Yeah, they were working
Yeah.
so hard watching Galaxy Quest at work this week.
Well, that was at lunch break. Did
Ow.
you notice it was like one person in the room?
No, that room was full. Maria, no.
No, yeah,
There was a picture. There was like a whole bunch.
They,
But I
Well,
can
they
forgive.
worked their
I
ass
can forgive Zero because she's Zero.
Well, point is, anniversary event is coming up in a couple weeks. So they just got off for winter break and the winter event, so they're gearing up for what's coming. Is kind of the point. But as of right now, there's not a whole lot of new stuff because they're actually at work building and making.
kind of working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
But they did release a new fiction story called Suspicions, and I have to say,
It was
I'm intrigued.
It was intriguing and very well written too. Congratulations.
Jadua, I believe.
It was Jadwa. It was very intriguing. I have to say, I'm really, as we said at the end of the last featured episode, I really like the kind of the direction that they're going in. I think for a video game, the temporal Cold War is a great direction, because you can do so much that would be playable in the game that would be fun. The Temporal Cold War, I think, is a much better venue, or the gaming is a much better venue for the Temporal Cold War than television ever was. So I'm thinking this is going to be a really great direction for the game to go in, because just the possibilities are endless, and maybe we'll start to see some new assets for the people in the Foundry. And speaking of Foundry, it still exists, people, and people are still making stuff with it. So that's really awesome. And for those who do not know what the Foundry is, you can actually play Star Trek Online. You can actually create playable missions that can be playable by everybody else in the game. So you can make your own Star Trek episodes, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah,
I managed to go back in and fixed a major problem with
one of yours, one of your missions.
A Klingon honor Carol.
Yeah.
For the longest time, people were materializing underground.
How'd you fix that?
Klingon technology.
One of the updates just
Just
totally foobarred my mission. So I had to figure out, because it's been a while, so I had to go in and figure out why that was happening, and I ended up fixing it, and it is now working. People are playing it and actually leaving me dilithium gifts again.
that's nice.
So
Yay!
Check it out. It's there.
And there's
Putting
also
aside.
some new Star Trek Online news that came out yesterday on Facebook.
Oh?
Yeah. The lovely Michelle Speck
Oh, yes.
Yes.
she posted on Facebook yesterday with an awesome picture of her at the recording booth. She will be doing a voice for Star Trek
Jesus,
Online.
smile more.
Is she?
I don't think her face could take it anymore,
I'm
Captain.
serious. This woman, she's just like, but if I were her, I would feel the same exact way. If I got to do a voice in Star Trek Online, I would be pretty fucking happy. And
I
I'm
adore
excited
her.
for her, and I'm excited for the players. Congratulations, Michelle. We cannot wait to hear you in game. And what I really enjoyed too was that there was a couple of her fans in Facebook who posted that who had no idea that Star Trek Online existed. So it was nice to see these people who, we put the link for the game in the post on the comment section of her post, and these people are like, "Oh my God, this looks amazing!" And I'm like, "Yay!" It's more people. I mean, the game's it's amazing to me that more people don't know that Star Trek Online exists, and it will always be one of my biggest frustrations that that Perfect World Entertainment doesn't give them a marketing budget enough to do something with it. I'm just saying. My own opinion. All right. Okay. Now, timelines. It came out this week.
Yes. So much fun. I'm loving it.
It had like a 1-day soft launch, and I downloaded it that day, and it was a little frustrating because I was on a not necessarily great wireless connection at work, so I didn't really get into it that day. But the next day I fired it up at home, and it seems to work pretty well. I do have an older I think second generation iPad, and it seems to work pretty well. What I like about it was it's easy to the interface on it's pretty easy, but I'm still learning how it works.
Yes, and let's see. Before the big announcement that it was coming out, they had released a couple more preview images. Major Kira and Nexus Kirk links are in the show notes, but also I had written for a fan dance for us. I had written up about my beta experiences, so be sure to check that out. Then the official announcement, once we were able to make that, also found on our website, so check that out. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun in regards of how to play. The executive producer Rich Gallup, he has put together a learn to play Star Trek Timelines video. The link will also be in our show notes, but it's pretty thorough in going over the basics of the game and how to go about it. And so check that out if you're having any questions. And then of course, there is a chat once you reach a certain level, so make a friend, ask a question.
I was going to say the chat
They're
is
actually
up.
quite.
When the chat opens when? Because I'm like
it's
a level 4.
Oh, one more level 5.
Well,
I think is
it's
what
open
it is.
for me, so.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
I
it
can
might
just
be
go to
3
the
or
chat
4.
room and I can see people chatting. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that little video or how to play it, because there are some things that I don't quite get yet, namely, leveling and what the advantages are. But I have to say, I liked it. Especially last night as we were watching football in front of the television. It was something that I could do easily on my lap while still watching the game. I could still play it.
I think it's something else you could do.
Oh my God. So Mike, do we have a guest coming in today?
Yes, we do.
Are they here?
No, not yet.
Okay, good.
They're not due for another 10 minutes.
Okay, so I know it's going to be crazy. Let's get to the first 2 episodes we should have talked about last week. So let's get to the 50 for 50.
What's your favorite episode? GNT shows 50 for 50.
And last week, what the hell?
What's going on?
What the hell? What the hell? That scared me. Oh my god, that scared the crap out of me. I flipped tabs on my browser, and some ad started, and it was I don't know, but it was loud and scary.
Okay.
Holy crap! My heart hasn't stopped.
Wow.
Okay, what episode shall we talk about first?
Boogie Nights.
Okay, Star Trek Boogie Nights with Burt
That's a
Reynolds.
series I would watch.
With Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah, baby.
Captain Dirk Diggler.
Sorry.
And
Science
City Diggler,
Officer
please.
Amber Waves.
Nick,
Roller Girl, get down to the planet.
Nick, and Terry in the studio.
Oh, you want
I
to
don't
talk
know.
about Darmok?
Yeah, that was my poor attempt
Okay.
to.
Wow.
Then let's do
Yeah.
it. I
was a
I
poor
caught that.
attempt.
I caught that. Talk about an episode that's crossed over into pop culture. Star Trek Next Generation, Darmok. Which
Some people hate this episode.
I don't understand that. Janet, you had distinct opinions on this episode.
I really like it, and for a couple of reasons. I mean, my big favorite series is Enterprise, and one of the reasons why it's my fave is because things just don't work all the time, and
Right.
that includes Hoshi not always getting the translation perfect.
Right.
And I'm thrilled to see here it is 100 plus 200 years later, and the same exact problem has arisen again. So this is not perfect, it's not plush, it's not Barca loungers in space. Instead, this is we're here on an unfamiliar world with a species that's been hostile to us. This is scary. This is weird. The captain might not come out of this, and what the hell are they talking about?
Right.
And what I loved also was that it wasn't was the norms of it are, you know, it's a little annoying when you see Troy is able to sweet talk this guy into making things go faster. I thought that was annoying because after all, not everybody has the same standards of beauty or the same standards of attraction, but on the planet what's happening is much better and much smarter, because how the hell should we ever expect that aliens are going to look like us, they're going to act like us, they're going to talk like us, they're going to have attractions like us? Oh my god, of course they aren't.
Right.
I know that a showrunner needs to have guest stars on, and they want to make them attractive, they want to make them relatable, you know.
Except for
you
Mick
get Paul
Fleetwood.
okay, but you get Paul Winfield on, and you want people to know that it's Paul Winfield. So you can't make the makeup so heavy that you really can't tell. You can't make the voice so difficult that you can't see who it is or hear who it is. But Darmok is great, and Darmok's also great because Trek is loaded with engineers, scientists, military people. There are very few slots for people like us who are in the humanities,
Right.
who are not in the sciences, who are not even in the arts, but who are in the language end of education and intelligence. And so Darmok is awesome because that is exactly what the skill that is necessary here is, to understand how people think and how they communicate, and to get into their heads of what their mythos is, and Picard doing that with the Epic of Gilgamesh is just fantastic.
It really is. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about this episode, and it became a huge inspiration for me in a lot of the fan fiction that I've written over the past, 9 years. This was one of those, like Chain of Command was one of them, and Darmok is another one, where you end up truly loving and getting to investigate the problems of two completely unrelated species trying to communicate with one another. And you can carry that over into how do we deal with how
Women?
the species that are already on our planet. I mean,
Exactly. A nod or the shake of the head doesn't mean the same thing everywhere you go on Earth. for crying
exactly.
out loud.
And
Oh,
from
please.
two different
Please,
two
in the
different
Middle East,
cultures,
wave
it
to
means
somebody
two
with your
different
left hand.
things, right? even one of the things I like them so much about Darmok is that it really does touch briefly upon the idea of conceptual thinking. These are people who think in terms of similes or historical similes. One of the things that a lot of people do not understand is that with certain groups of the deaf community also, they're conceptual thinkers. If you're speaking ASL is not signed English. It's a conceptual language. It is far bigger and far more reaching as opposed to specific letters of specific words of specific languages. It is far more conceptual that you have, and even some deaf have a difficult time speaking to other deaf members of other cultures because their concepts of their cultures are so different. So this is a spectacular episode that touches on the idea of conceptual thinking and what one person sees as a good representation of what they're trying to say is not going to be the same for another person. What a deaf when I took sign language in school, our teacher was very specific or very laid it out for us in a great way by using the word hotel. In ASL, technically there was no word for the word hotel. There was no sign for the word hotel. So one person kind of made up the idea of the hotel was this building that stood, and it's difficult to show because you have to see these things in person to understand. But the hotel had a light on the top of it. So they had like a pointed number index finger and their hand fanned out across the top. So for that person, that was his word for the word hotel, and it stuck amongst their local group, and it tended to kind of go across. But that doesn't mean that people in France who are deaf are going to understand that's what the hotel means.
I just had a thought. Can you imagine a Paclid trying to have a conversation
oh my God.
with that race in Darmok?
The Temerian? Oh my.
The Temerians would annihilate them, I think.
Would be so, I would pay to watch that.
But it was, and this whole episode ended up being the complete inspiration for the first book in my Heritage series, because I wanted to put Beth into that situation. How do you deal? And here's even more. How does a person like Beth, who's got supposedly the ability to read minds, right? Like Troy does, right? She's got the ability to read minds. Yeah, exactly. Pain. How does she deal with a species that she that nobody understands? That their method of communication is so different from other forms of
it's like men talking to women, I'm telling you.
Humanoids. So I love this. There's a huge, a wonderful kind of touch on, and like you said, Janet, nice to see where things don't always go right.
Well, I just have to say this about this episode. Maybe I've seen it too many times, but honestly, to me, if it wasn't Paul Winfield, somebody of that stature, I don't think it would have held up so well.
Really?
He does things with his eyes and with his body language that when you watch it again, watch what he does with his body language as well.
Well, you're right. They're two powerhouse actors who took this material and played it for what it was worth. They really did.
And I think that's part of the if it was a lesser guest star, I don't think it would have held up so well.
I don't know.
Could have been parodied horribly. I mean,
yeah,
it is.
Well,
parodied
it still
half
is
the time.
but that's the beauty of it, right? It's crossed. Like I said, it's crossed over into that pop culture kind of thing, where even this week, with on top of all the deaths that have occurred, that people are making memes that use
when the people were sad.
Yeah. They're using it,
and everybody understands what you mean.
And everybody understands. Now, if that isn't a conviction of what this episode was about, then I don't know what is.
Lawsuits when you should be quiet.
Okay.
Moving right along.
The Search Part 1. This is DS9. I don't even remember what episode and stuff it was.
let's see, if I remember right, they ended up getting the Defiant in this episode, which freaks everyone out on the station because it decloaks
Oh,
inside
that's
the
right.
ring. And they go to the or the Gamma Quadrant looking for the Founders, and we are introduced to Eddington, who
Love Eddington.
has
And so
unnerved
begins the
Odo.
Les Miserables portion of DS9.
He also has unnerved Odo because he thinks Odo now thinks that he's being replaced. So and then of course he's feeling kind of in this position where he has no.
Odo's a teenage girl in this.
Yeah. And so Kira asks him to go along to find the Founders, and he ends up finding his home. He finds his people.
Gotta love the introduction of the fucking USS Cisco's motherfucking pimp hand.
The Defiant?
Yeah. That's the real name. Cisco's motherfucking pimp hand.
Why are the shapeshifters so perfectly bipedal though? I mean, I like that
they do it
that Odo gets the nose
to interact with the humanoids because they know humanoids are kind of they get kind of wiggy when it comes to non-humanoids.
Terry,
but I want her to screw up. I want her hoo-ha to be on her arm for crying out loud. Something weird.
Terry, I'm about to throw down with D'Onofrio.
Go crazy.
What did D'Onofrio say? I can't see it.
DS9 never did anything for me. It was like we're just gonna wait for everyone to come get us. Fuck. Well, looks like the first Banhammer of the year is coming out, ladies and gentlemen.
So not true. So not true. Yeah, I have my complaints about DS9, specific complaints about DS9 as well, but I wouldn't say it that way. I did.
Matthew Anderson, I believe it was a moon that Cisco nuked, not a planet.
I do think
And
it's
it wasn't
funny,
a
though,
nuke,
that they
it was a
realized real
biological
fast
weapon.
that they needed to get away from the station and brought in the Defiant in order as a means to get them off the station and do something else. But
Wait a minute, that wasn't that fast, though. What season was this, Mike?
Season 3? Yeah, season 3.
out of how many?
7.
Yeah, so they figured out
Well, they
in
were
2
also
seasons they figured out that.
they were also preparing for a potential war.
Yeah,
So-
but that doesn't mean that you're. I'm sorry, but the base commander is not going to get on a little ship and go start
That's true.
doing it.
And a captain's not going to beam down with his first officer and his doctor.
You do have a
everywhere.
point there. That is true.
Yeah.
But it was a way to
Don't
get them.
even start
It was
with me
a
on
way
Cisco, because we'll throw
I'm
down.
just telling you, it was a
sister.
way to get them off the station. Do I think it was bad? No, I just think that it needed to broaden itself, and it did. There you go.
Yes, throw you off
Star
the
Trek,
station.
showing military organizations what not to do for the last 50
Yeah.
years.
It's a
Pretty
totally
much.
uncharted planet, and there's a distress signal. Let's get our highest-ranking people to go down. With
We
no
keep
security.
losing Mikey, I think. Who are we losing? I think it's Mikey.
I think our guest.
Oh,
showed
he's
up.
going upstairs to go see our
Yeah,
guest.
Well,
we got
he's
two
going
of
into
it.
the green room.
We
He's
got
going to the green room.
two. We got 2 of the episodes.
Okay,
in, so
go
that's
ahead.
good.
The search.
The search. Well, who were they searching for? If we were searching for the founder.
Spock. It was the search for Spock.
No, it was not.
They were
It
in
was.
search of.
They were in search of the others.
I need that bad music from In Search of.
Good pizza.
There you
They
go.
were in search of good
good
pizza.
Who's not? Good Chinese food.
But
You
wouldn't
can't get
say,
it outside of New York City. Sorry.
But wouldn't you say this is really the kickoff of the Dominion War?
That started in season. Was it 2?
Well, the real. There was always an intimation that shit was going on in season 1 and season 2, but season
They
3
even
is really
mentioned
when
the
things
Dominion
started to
in season
pick up.
1.
Huh?
I
Well,
think, if I
they did.
remember, the
In the
first
first
mention of the
episode.
Dominion.
Yes.
No. I think the first episode that they were mentioning was Alamarine, because those were the first people from the Gamma Quadrant.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh my god!
And I'm sorry.
What an
Y'all
impression they made, huh?
y'all bitches can disagree with me, but I love that episode. You know I do too.
Well, this is also when we find out that Odo is not alone; that there are others, and they're and the female changeling is welcoming him home.
And
That was
Janet, just to build on something you said, there's a reason Kira's so happy with Odo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, the hoo-ha on the arm. I'm telling you, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I think that yeah. Well,
Our guests are here.
that's great. Well, perfect timing. We got
Did you
through
get
at
them
least 2 of the
cigarettes,
episodes,
coffee, and coffee, Mike?
which
Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
close enough.
The cigarette was floating
we
in
got
the
we
coffee.
got through 2
but,
of the episodes.
Meth and champagne.
The cigarette was floating in the coffee.
Ew.
Close enough.
That's the best kind.
Ooh.
Ew.
Now I'm thinking of that scene in Caddyshack.
I think we'll save Unification Part 1 and Azadi Prime for discussion next week.
Sounds good.
Because we have some fun guests that we get to bring in and talk to again, because I miss them so much. And are they here yet? Are they here yet?
Good
They
morning.
are. Good morning. Hi, Larry.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Terrace.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good morning,
Great.
Hank.
Doing well.
Good morning.
For our
Thank you.
listeners who do not know, we have the wonderful, who we call the Trek Guru, Mr. Larry Nemechek.
Oh, you guys are too kind. And you're alive. It's Sunday morning. Yay.
Yay!
I call him Larry
Thank you for
Nemechek.
joining us so early.
That's Larry Nemechek. That's right.
Guru makes me think of meaning of life. The meaning of Trek life. What is it, Larry?
Oh, what? You mean the gooey Trek goodness?
Ooh, with lanolin
Speaking of
or,
Odo
or
and
with oh God, what's that stuff? Nougat, creamy nougat.
Creamy nougat. The
That's
creamy
it. I
nougat.
just go back to that moment at Vegas last year when that word got coined. So whenever I think of you guys, I always think now of gooey Trek goodness.
The gooey Trek goodness.
With geeky goodness. When I think of that trip last year, I think of you getting us lost, Larry.
Well, you would, because you have a skewed, slanted look on life.
You're finding
Hi,
this out now.
Terrace.
And also joining us is Terrace Cassidy from Geek Nation Tours. Hey,
Got the
kiddo.
coolest wife.
Hey guys. She is very cool, my wife.
And a cool kid, too.
She
That's
is
true.
cool, and she's coming to the Star Trek convention this year too. We're gonna have
Is she
her
really?
with
Nice.
us.
Right on.
We'll have
Yep.
some Molsons and watch some hockey.
By the way, she is reviewing TOS episodes for the first time. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's got a new YouTube channel. She's very much into vlogging, and her YouTube channel is called Cat's Crazy Corner, and that's KATS and then Crazy Corner spelt normally. And she reviews Star Trek from the view of a 13-year-old girl.
Sweet.
So yeah,
Fantastic.
it's pretty cool. She's doing really well. I have to prompt her every once in a while to get another episode done. I think we're up to episode 7 of the original series. I think up on her channels, Mud's Women is up currently. That's the newest one.
I can't wait to watch that one. That one's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Right
pretty,
on.
we have to thank the people that are helping us with our Priority One podcast is also helping us with editing it. So
Hi, people over
Did I-
at Priority One. We love
did I just do
you.
that? I can't believe I just
It's
did
okay.
that.
Well,
I
what?
just-
It's like
yeah.
Elio's going to
Shout out.
Come on. Come on.
Anyway, you want to
I know
listen to
she's
them.
not there anymore, but hi, Cookie.
Yeah, Cookie's really helpful, and Elio is really. They've both been really helpful editing it. So, yeah, she's learning a lot. She's turning into quite a little vlogger. So,
Awesome.
Well, what I think
yeah.
is wonderful is that she's jumping into that crowded field of 13-year-old female Trek bloggers because, it takes a lot of guts. When you're trying to make your voice heard in a crowded... No, actually, I'm being totally facetious. But
how
I
is she
think it's
getting
wonderful
that
from the
out?
other direction
I mean-
because Star Trek can so use that. I mean, that's just awesome.
Canada, it's like North Korea. It's such a closed environment. How is she getting that out with the stuff?
Carrier
I got
pigeons.
well, actually, you know what? It's funny that you say that because we live on an acreage and we have to upload her videos from town. We can't do it from our house. So it is like that. You're not even joking. Yeah. The squirrels, their cage doesn't let them generate enough energy for us to upload her videos from our house. Even if we get the huskies to chase them, there's still not enough electricity.
That's a pretty apt description there, Nick. When the satellites go over Earth at night and you look down, it's the outline of North Korea and the outline of Alberta that you can see. It's just pitch black, suddenly because there's no electricity.
That's right. That's right. Unless we have the huskies and the squirrels. That's the only time that we're okay. Then we can see. Or else it's living life without electricity. It's okay,
But you still got Corey Hart, so.
That's true.
Happy 50th, guys!
Happy 50th.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's very exciting. We're really excited about coming this year and seeing all our friends in Vegas. So.
How
You guys
many
got some
spots
big
do you have
plans for the
left in the
50th.
tour? That's what I need to know.
That's amazing. Terrace told me last week that we were up to 24 people, and I about fell off my chair. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, 26 with the both of us. So already we're almost at 30. We have.
So you do have
I
a couple of
think-
spots left?
Yeah, we do. They're in short demand though. They're leaving us quickly. I think we have 6 left. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great.
So we're
news.
topping out at. I always just use 35 roughly, but
Yeah.
So
Well,
we're saying less than that.
Yeah, well, we can push it a little bit higher, but really, if you want to get in, you better come fast because those top 6 are what I have scheduled right now. I can always pull in some more space, but that's what we have scheduled right now. So yeah, hurry.
So-
what's the temperature where you're at right now?
Yeah.
I only have it in Celsius. It's minus 22 right now.
Oh my God!
So you can hang meat.
Oh yeah.
Coming to us live from Rura Pente, it's Terrace Cassidy.
It's really great because you guys don't understand that you cook and then you put it outside, it freezes, and then you put your beer outside for a little while and it's cold. It's like you have an extra freezer. It's awesome.
It was like that when I was in Norway.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
You
The
know,
freezer out in the garage is the garage.
It's very funny.
Did we lose?
Uh-oh. We lost Terrace.
We may have lost Terrace.
Oh, great!
I
They nuked Canada.
No, they
You
didn't.
stepped on the wire, I'm telling you.
Nuke Canada.
Well, he has
Moose
to go
wants
back
to
out.
spit my
Does he have to
sister.
go back out and restart the generator? It's probably.
Am I here?
Yeah,
there
There you go.
Yay.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
no, I
mic is
love-
just a little bit.
Hot.
Yeah, it's a little
How's
bit
that? A little hot. Back it up.
Yeah, back it up.
How's that?
Oh, much
Oh,
better.
much better.
Okay.
There
okay,
you
good.
go.
It's like you're in
Yeah.
Idaho now.
No, I love the winter, and it just snowed a bunch this weekend, and I was very excited to see the snow. So,
Yeah, but you could say that in July.
well, it has snowed, not here, but pretty close to here in July. Yeah, like 45 minutes down the road. I live right outside Jasper National Park, so.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So,
very
Larry,
nice.
I was thinking.
So we
of
all
you,
know immediately where that is.
Larry, I was thinking of you not long ago. Good season, bad ending.
Oh yeah. Well, that was really strange. It was a good game until we became the Walking Wounded, but I've never seen Sooners fanboys so happy about losing a bowl game or losing even a championship game. They were like, "This is so much better than the last few years." And anyway, yeah, very excited about next year. Very disappointed, but I'm mostly disappointed that my Sooners didn't get to play Chris Jones's Roll Tide. But they got a good game there at the end. So
Yeah.
And for those folks who may not know,
Sorry, we
you
suddenly
figured
veered
out
over
that
into
Larry's
sports.
a
No, no.
Sooner, and
He's a Boomer Sooner, and
he's
you
a
know,
Boomer
if-
Sooner,
you know these things if you're a regular. If you don't, you got to learn as you go.
which is why I was
Did he-
explaining.
everybody
So-
does my Twitter feed knows what's going on there. So it's not just Star Trek 24/7. Never has been.
All right, so we do need to talk a little bit about why we have both of you on, and that, of course, is to talk about the wonderful tour that you have set up for the Star Trek convention. Not just the convention, but this wonderful kind of how many days ahead of the convention does it start? 5, 6, 7? Well, you start in San Francisco
Oh
now,
no,
right?
this is going to be a huge year. In fact,
Yeah.
by the time you guys see me in Vegas, we'll see both of us, but see me in Vegas,
Mhm.
I think we figured I'd be talking about 10, 12 days. This is
Wow.
because we're adding San Francisco this year as an
Right.
option.
Which which I think
Right,
is awesome.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Dave.
will be, our first day is July 26th, so we're there all the
Oh.
way until the convention. So yeah, we've got lots
Yeah.
ahead.
That's
Right on.
fantastic.
You're going to be so sick of each other.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
notice
no.
why
I'll
they
just
do
be
this
sick of
only
Star
every 2
Trek.
years?
No, I won't. Actually not.
For those that have
Actually, Larry is very pleasant and easy to work with, so I don't think I'll be sick of him. He may be sick of me, but he's always pleasant. And when he's not, we just let him. We kick him off the motor coach for a little while, let him walk a couple miles, and then everybody's cooled off, and well, everybody's cooled off except him. But it's that's usually a good punishment for anything I don't
I
like.
always like Saturday when the vendors room is closing. Larry, how you doing? I haven't slept in a week.
No, I haven't stopped talking in a week.
That's true.
Even more than normal, I haven't stopped.
No, but you are like on. I mean, you're on. You're doing this tour. You're on. When you get to the convention, you're on. You're in the vendors room. You're on. It's tiring. It's very, very tiring.
Oh no, it is. It is. I'll always remember Lolita's. We would be backstage, and Lolita
Right.
would say, "Okay, everybody, Star Trek smiles. Star Trek smiles."
Yeah. Oh my God. How's she doing?
Yeah. Oh, she's fine. She's fine.
Okay.
Actually, we have an annual trip. We go up and see her every
See
year.
her?
Since
Oh, that's
we go
nice.
back to. I owe many things in Star Trek to a lot of people, and Lolita's one of them. And of the year she was at Star Trek and in the office for help and for helping Janet land a job there for a few years and all that. So no, it's great and. It's amazing. I mean, I have to stop and think, not just to coast from year to year to year. I had to kick myself 4 or 5 years ago because Trek fandom, but Vegas as a bubble in that has like evolved so much over the last since the beginning of it, and the last 2 or 3 years have gotten so crazed and so crammed, as you all know, that. It's like I can't coast along. I mean, I barely would. Her, for instance, Lolita, I barely see it. One year, I said, like, "Are we going to like sit down and have a drink for 10 minutes?" Over the weekend. And things didn't used to be that way. We'd all, it was
really, because that's this will be what, our 5th year, you guys,
6th, I think.
and that's the only way I remember it.
Well, it's amazing to me to think about the first year that I went and what it was like, and now with the hallways and all the attractions in the hallways and everything, just the way they've expanded it for the better, much like the artwork and everything. I'm loving the changes that have taken place.
Yeah, the photo ops and those kinds of things that they needed to up their game, and I think CBS has gotten way more proactive.
Yeah.
John and Bill and all our good friends there have
Hi, JVC. Nan Baco, 2016.
I'm sure he's up live listening right now.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, like the first few years I went. Well, the first year I was going to cover for Communicator and going in adjunct with the old StarTrek.com. And when we had a news team out of LA at the studio, and but I mean, like Communicator and Fan Club had a table, and we'd work that table and hired some of the actors to come sit at the table for a while, and in stints, and then when the Communicator went down, and then when StarTrek.com went down, I was like, guys, I need to be there, but Adam and Gary were great about trading me out a table for doing a couple of panels, and so it then it became that entrepreneur-y, but really the Comic-Conification of Vegas started happening about 2010. And the cosplay got great, and then CBS started kind of pushing the panels up better, and a lot of the licensees started showing up to talk more, and it just got more. And those years when everybody was worried about the franchise and worried that nobody under 30 would be there, and like 05, 06, 07, right after Enterprise was canceled, and now it's like, my God, don't look back.
Well, I think too, I don't know, just throwing it out there for what it's worth, but I think that the idea of a company kind of pushing its own IP and pushing forward its own license and licensees isn't lost on CBS, especially in light of what Disney is doing with like D23 and or its own conventions and being able to say, God, people will show up to stuff like this. So I love the changes that have occurred. It's just showing that there really is some interest in that, to be honest with you, it's a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, when we were noticing, when they really started to kind of push for the there's more things to do now, not just to go to the panels or to go to the vendors room, but now there's, the Corks bar, there's more opportunity for you to socialize with other fans, besides having to go back out into the bar area or whatever, because there's not a lot to do out in the Rio. I don't know what things were like in the Hilton. Were there things other than to do because we've only been going since they moved to the Rio.
Oh, you babies. Yeah.
I know.
No, I mean, well, the place to go in the Rio, there were, in the Hilton, it was smaller. You didn't feel like you'd walk through 3 counties to get anywhere.
True.
Well, because the experience was there.
That's
so
right.
For one thing, people could go down and hang out in Corks, if not going through. Some people were just like ride-anistas, and they were like over there all the time, or they knew people that worked there or whatever.
Corks wasn't that big either.
No,
it wasn't. And during the con weekend, it was like always crammed and crowded. And the last few years, they had an idiot for a manager who would shut it down at 10, despite everyone screaming. I know, insane. And then people would all spill out into the Space Quest bar, which is right there next to it. And but yeah, you made me shift my brain back there for a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah, so people were hanging out there. No, it's glorious to do it. But no, it's there was a little in the Hilton. There was a little bar that was down, kind of like the same way you walk all the way down to that area, and there was a little bar that people didn't like really get at first, and we would just duck in there, and have our and do that. But yeah, wow. What I miss about the Hilton was there was the big main stage and the dealer's room, and there was a restroom that actually like bridged both of them. And if you went in the back corner door of the stage side or the back corner door of the dealer's, it was like a secret move in Clue. It was like you could like zoom through there and get to the backstage area real fast. You didn't have to go out, you didn't have to go through Belgium and Armenia.
Of Larry ducking through a bathroom with a piece of pipe in his hand.
I picture like young Frankenstein. He's lifting the candle. Put the candle
back.
I just stuck with the lead pipe usually. It was, is that a lead pipe in your band? Yeah.
It's a classic. Stay with it. It works.
Did you see like a rise and fall, Larry? Like a kind of a cycle of attendance in the years that you've been doing the convention?
Oh yeah, well no, it was reflecting the franchise. In 04 and 05, like the whole world was not watching Enterprise, and people were starting to get a little what's going on, and then when it was canceled, people were depressed. And a lot of us, we were all really worried about what was going to happen, and then. As much as we all debate, JJ Trek or not, the 09 year.
Yeah.
I was just shocked when I went in. And here's the thing, the secondary theater, which is now pretty, hubbubbly.
Yes.
Used to be the place where they would like put our friend David Williams or some, like the NASA person or the, my God, I remember like when Will Wheaton would go to Vegas, he did and before Will Wheaton was, God of the internets, people still had him, which was always very unfair. But when people still had him almost like in that Wesley mode, and he got no respect. And he was trying to he did an acrobat tumbling, like a comedy acrobat tumbling workshop in the side room that would have like, 10 or 15 people go to it. And it's just like if you were relegated to the side room, it was almost like, eh. And but in '99, I walked in, and there were 300 people in the side room.
Yeah.
When the first year Star Trek TrekMovie.com did panels before CBS kind of stepped in, and I was shocked. And it turned out that 99% of them were all people who were just had become fans from the JJ movie. Have just leaped into fandom, and the first thing they did, because it had just been out a month or two,
right?
And they leaped into that. They were like, okay, I should go to the Vegas convention.
Yeah.
And I was just, oh my God, this is. And since then, since it's been off and rolling, but that totally for a minute changed how I saw the JJ movies because they were pumping so many, and that was just who was showing up at Vegas.
Right.
So imagine what that was doing below that. So yeah.
Well, Larry, I got to ask you, because how new is the karaoke thing? Because in the 5 or 6 years that we've been going, we've watched it grow and grow and grow. From like when we first went, remember, Terry? There was,
Probably 100 people.
yeah. Now that room was packed last year.
Well, that's become a thing. See, and I've meant to go every year, and
Oh
something
my God,
has
Larry,
happened.
it's awesome.
Larry,
Something has
so
happened
much
all the
fun.
time that I don't get there. It's, oh, well, they've already got the line down to whatever. Oh, no, they would have let you in. Or blah, blah, blah. So this has been like my personal. It's almost as much a quest to finally sit down and do an STO game in public, and lose my virginity in public. It's also to finally
We
get
can
in
make
the
that happen.
karaoke room and do something. So
We are gonna
maybe
make this
maybe
happen.
for the 5-0, maybe. That's it. But
We were
speaking of the
talking-
5-0,
we were talking about how it has grown and the karaoke area, and where to hang out, and I think that whole hotel is hopping now. Like
Yeah.
all the bars are great. You hang out at all the bars. You hang out at the restaurants.
Yeah.
I always find Star Trek conversations with everybody, and it's not only just the fans. I think the first time I got there, I think there was a little bit of a pushback with some of the people that were hanging out at the Rio, but now everybody's digging it. Even the people that are not Star Trek, are there for the convention.
Right.
And I always tell my guys when we go there that the tour participants that when you get there, make sure you strike up conversations with people and make sure you hang out with people and interact with people. Push a little bit. And you'll be invited into the circle, and everybody kind of always goes, yeah, whatever. Terrorist people are just not like that. And when we go to the Star Trek convention in particular, it is amazing how welcoming everybody is. I mean, that's one of the things that's about the Star Trek in general that's awesome. That whole community really lives the word of Star Trek, and they invite people in. When we got there the last tour in 2014, we all had our shirts on, and I was showing them around the hotel, and people automatically came up to us and said, "You guys are on the tour. It's so great to talk to you." And my guys were shocked that bang right away they were thinking I was BSing them about how welcoming the convention was, and then all of a sudden they were there for 5 minutes and they were surrounded by Star Trek fans talking and Trek and laughing, so it's a wonderful convention experience. It's actually one of my wife's favorite conventions of all time, actually, is Star Trek, and she became a Trekkie through me. But she loves going there now, and people are just awesome.
Yeah,
They
you're
really
welcome.
are.
well,
You're
that's the
welcome.
thing. That's the thing about that, because you do go to all the. I mean, it's not just Star Trek with you, Terrace. You go to military and historic places with Geek Nation tours, much less other, like Gen Con and Comic Cons and things. And it's nice for me to think that, because I hear that all the time. But to have you actually say that is very reaffirming. But that's true, and that's the cool thing about the tours. The first year we went was the Trek tour was in 2012, and I guess I met you in 2011 because we started talking about it. Then you asked me about doing
That's right.
this. So
Terrace.
you've been going since 2011, but that first time, and we had like a dozen people or a little more than that, and our shirts, and we were talking about this, and people were like, and then but it's amazing between 2012 and 2014, the second time, when the shirts were blue, and and that was like preview night even, and people were coming up and, oh, you're on the tour, I've heard of that, yeah, we saw your street, we saw your your Facebooks and your Twitter pictures and blah blah blah. But after that, it's like everything else this year. People have just been like crazy. I mean, the month after, there was panic buying on rooms at the Rio. There was like panic buying on tickets, and it's still going on, and all this stuff. And
The Rio is actually
Yep.
sold out, and that
Yep.
was what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
Terrace. How does the tour handle the hotel situation?
oh, Terrace,
I was-
please tell me you got the room.
I was
already.
one of
Please
those.
Tell me.
I was one of those panic buyers, actually.
So you bought
no,
extra, or
Yeah, we bought a whole bunch of rooms. We bought we've got a block there, so a block within their block actually, and so we're good to go. And yeah,
Yeah, for some of our
it was
listeners,
busy.
the,
I actually. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I actually phoned them, and she said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm wanting to book for the Star Trek convention," and she said, "You guys are already booking. I can't believe it. I've already got a few calls today." It's almost as if I phoned on the day that everybody started to book.
Yep.
And I was really early. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just take care of this year. It's out of my hair. I don't have to worry about it. I wasn't even thinking that there would it would be sold out.
Last year, as I was checking out, I reserved my room for for this.
They were actually allowing people to book as they were checking out last year.
Well, I remember the panic buying on the internet, seeing people screaming about it. No, the rumors, like in September, like a month later, people were saying, "I think the Rio's sold out." I'm like, "No, the Rio is not going to sell out.
Yes, it did.
It'll happen in December."
You know what?
Well, it happened in
the
November.
old hotel is now next door.
Yeah, and now that they have a special block of rooms at the Palms across the street, so you can book there if you
That
don't
is
get rooms at
crazy.
the Rio. Yeah,
That is crazy. You know what's really crazy about that is that entire hotel now will be full of Trek people.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right? Because if
5,000
it's sold
rooms.
out, that means that entire hotel will have Trek people there.
Well,
Good
I'm
luck
not
getting
It's going to be
And it
incredible.
wasn't
Think
hard
about
enough to get a
this.
drink at the Masquerade Bar before.
And I'm just kidding. But think about this. There will also be parties and whatnot going on next door at the Palms. Guaranteed. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
party is not just contained to the Rio anymore. It's slowly
or the Gold
creeping
Coast
into-
bowling alley.
Yeah, hey,
That happens a lot, I heard.
yeah, I was gonna say that the bowling alley and the noodle house, at the Gold
Oh,
Coast.
the Noodle House is good.
Oh,
See how
well,
this is amazing. This is good. Go back in my mind. So Terrace the Rio was where I met you, right?
Yep.
2011.
That's
I think
where-
2011 was the first year at the Rio, which it just boggles my mind. So that's going to be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See, last year was the 5th year at the Rio, which just blows me away.
Yeah, this is
So
my
anyway,
60th
and the years
also.
piling up. But no, when I started seeing those like panic rumors, like last fall, it was like, oh my God, this is going to be insane next year. It might sell out. It might get close, and it is now. And I mean, it's not just hearing everybody here in the States say. I mean, you know this. Everybody says, well, if there's going to be 1 year I'm going to get my butt to Vegas, it's going to be the 50th, of course. And it's not just here. That's what I hear, like fans in England and Germany and in Australia. Everybody, like the world is saying that, and that's what's fueling this. It's going to be, aside from just numbers, like you said, the vibe at the Rio is going to be different, and then all these spin-off hotels, the next door hotels, and then just the present of everybody. I mean, we're going to have I mean, it got me last year. We just did our little one day in 2015, the off year for the big tour. We did the one day out to a Valley of Fire again, and that Terry, you know so well. And I think no, I'm sorry. We haven't had one of you guys with us yet. When's that going to happen? But anyway, we went out, and in our van we had a guy from Malaysia and a guy from Indonesia who didn't know each other, but they had gotten to know each other for this trip, and so they're sitting there talking, and we're driving out for that hour, and here's a guy from Indonesia and a guy from Malaysia talking about what their Star Trek club back home does. I mean, it just blows me away.
love it.
What are you guys doing that Wednesday prior?
Wednesday.
It's Tuesday this
Wednesday
year.
is Tuesday.
Tuesday this year,
It's
yeah.
Tuesday
And-
this year, Terry.
And
That's
I'm
right, it is
probably setting
Tuesday.
up our booth. Like we
What do you
because
need?
they
How
do
much
that.
time do you need to? How much time do you need to set up your booth? It's like 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
You know what, dude?
Okay. First, it takes me a while to get up on Tuesday morning because I've probably partied so hard on Monday night getting
Exactly.
there. And then we roll in, and then we set up the booth, and then they open the doors at 6:00.
Yeah.
I'm
How long
telling
does
you,
it take to set up your booth, Terrace?
15
He doesn't
minutes.
show up till Wednesday, man.
He just throws stuff on the table and says,
That's
"Go."
true.
No,
That's exactly. I walk in.
It takes him no time because he tells his wife, "Go set up the booth, eh?"
No, she doesn't. She definitely would not. It's not that kind of a relationship. I can tell you right now.
Obviously,
believe
she's
me,
going to
I
tell
know.
Kat to set up the booth.
Oh,
Well,
that's right. Good training.
I just walk in and I say I'm here, and people
Yeah.
just come to me. So they just walk to me.
Well,
and
you're
they
so tall that you walk
They
in and it's
actually
like
help me set up the booth, and I don't even have to do a thing. That's really what it is.
Well, here's the thing, Terry. So we've only got, we've got less than 10 slots left. Do we even need to promote the tour and tell everybody about it, or do we just
Yes.
like keep it secret? And hope
Well, no, I mean,
Nobody-
No, you get the word out there.
get the word out.
I mean,
Fill
that's
up
what
those
we're doing
last
right
spots. Fill up those last spots and pitch for somebody who will be jealous who didn't get to go this year and they'll go 2 years from now.
And please tell me that although you're down to your last slots, that you're not going to be like upping the price on these last seats.
Stop it.
Okay, that was.
now. They're actually going to be
So I've actually seen that as a
$10,000
winning
more.
business model in other nearby pursuits. So
Yeah.
We have premium rooms at the Rio. If you want them, it's going to cost you big time. No, we don't do that. We don't. We would never do that. Yeah, we would never do that. But you know what? It's not. It's not a real. It's a monumental thing. But I'm not a hawker at a baseball game, so we would never do something like that. We want everybody to be happy.
Yeah.
Really
Don't
is
be
what
a
it comes
hater,
down to.
Mike.
all rates include 25% greed surcharge.
That's in the Ferengi print.
Under stamps.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Crazy
let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about what the tour involves, and let's just talk about it. So it starts on the 26th, and you guys start off in San Francisco. And for our listeners who do not know, Geek Nation Tours puts on this fabulous tour of Star Trek locations that you've seen in the shows and the movies. And wonderful Mr. Larry Nemechek pretty much acts as tour guide, right?
Yeah, all the way. But although Terrace is, I know you're more involved in some of the tours hands. Well, you're involved every day there, but you kind of hand it off to me, and then we jump along. But what the pattern has been for the first two editions is landing in L.A. and having some tour days around L.A. and then we hit the road on a day and wind up, as it's evolved, we wind up getting to Vegas a day early and then go out to the Valley of Fire to what I was calling the Kirk Memorial Tour. And what's wild is every time we've gone out there, we find something new where the Rangers say something. Like last year, it was like, oh, and you have you it's right there next to Enterprise Rock. And I go, wait, what? Enterprise Rock? What is that? And it's like, why didn't someone tell us that like last year? Anyway, it's been amazing. I don't know if we can keep up this pace, but
That's great.
I think it was last year, Larry, where you coined the phrase, you were looking for Picard's hole.
yes. Well, you know what? I didn't coin that phrase. Our lovely
That was
tour
me.
folks.
That was completely me.
Oh, okay. We'll claim something.
That's
But
awesome.
what's amazing this year, since the beginning of planning this, like in 2011, 2012, I have wanted to do, I thought, well, there's all this stuff we could do in San Francisco as well. That's a combination of real filming places, like from Star Trek 4, and then all the fictional places that were supposed to be, in Starfleet City. So this year, for something to kind of oomph up the oomph here for the 50th, we're landing and doing the same thing. We used to land on Saturday and start, and then we would head to Vegas to be there, to start on Thursday. So everything's bumped up a day. So people land in LA if they're just doing LA on Friday. But it's 4 days, 5 days ahead of that. Now we have this optional San Francisco segment where the first people are landing in San Francisco, and we're doing everything from going over to, I started to say the Politico, to the old fort where Starfleet's supposed to be built, to the Star Trek 4, the double dumbass on you locations and all of that, to Bell Riots in the Sanctuary District, which we know from dialogue where that was, to even the place which was said in dialogue where the corner where O'Brien and Kira keep beaming down every 20 years trying to find them at the Bell Riots time. So we've got this whole wonderful, and everything we do, we're going to a place that's I don't want to say touristy, but it's a wonderful place to show all the mundanes back home if they don't get the Star Trek stuff. So that's going to be exciting, and that backs it up another 5 days. So yeah, like you said, we're starting on the...
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of those locations are actually a lot around some really fun things to do in San Francisco. So I think that's going to be awesome. And again, some of those that I know the corner where the Double Dumbass on You took place. I'm like, okay, the restaurant that's right there. There's this here. There's some really fun things to do there. Just to see and make a tourist of San Francisco as well. What a blast! That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we're staying right in Fisherman's Wharf too, so we're going to get all that goodness for sure. And we're going to the aquarium too. So
you're heading down to Monterey.
The Cetacean Institute.
Yeah,
betcha.
it took me 3 years to
Fantastic.
find it because I kept looking for Cetacean Institute signs in
You did
Sausalito, and no one knew
not.
what I was talking about.
I know you know better. You're pulling everybody's leg. Larry totally
That's
knows
true.
it was the Monterey Bay Aquarium. I know that for a fact. But
You know that story? Our good friend John Tenuto, when he was a kid, was there with his parents, and they were there on one of the filming days, and he has a sign. He has a little flyer that they put up all over the place. Filming in progress. Please, be mindful of the cameras and sign release forms or whatever it said. I was just like, that is so awesome.
That's awesome.
By the way, Taris, it should only take 15 minutes to set up our booth. But last year, my friend Rhiannon and I were out at the pool, so it took a little longer because I was just laying out getting sunburned.
Yeah.
Well, you should come out with us and get sunburned in the desert. We leave at 6:30 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, that's not happening, dude.
It's not a bad thing. You could you're not
Let
looking
me
at
explain something.
No, hang on.
I missed this show last week because I passed out at 6 in the morning because I was on basically like a Skype chat doing shots with somebody.
Okay,
So,
that's exactly what you have to look at it. You can't think, that's too early. You got to look at it as awesome. I get to start my day so early and start partying all right in the morning.
I've been to the desert. Okay.
Have you been to this desert?
Have you been to Enterprise Rock?
I've been to Barstow, California, in the middle of summer and not being able to take clothes off. So yeah.
Okay, here's the trump card. Have you seen Picard's Hole?
There is a movie I saw. Never mind.
It's Alan has taken this tour. He did the Valley of Fire tour with you a couple of years ago. And
So did the Ferris Anomaly, right?
Yeah, he went with the Ferris Anomaly. They thoroughly enjoyed themselves. They weren't able to take the full tour with you in LA, but they were able to join you for the Valley of Fire day only. And they loved it. They had a great time.
Well, we should
Again,
say
it's
that,
just
though.
a bunch-
Actually, a lot of people do. We've got plenty of slots left just for the day trip, right, Jairus?
Oh, yeah,
Because
by-
people
by
jump
all
in
means.
and want to do that as they want to do it, but in the other thing, we've had a lot of people after doing that say, oh, okay, I want to do the big one, because it's...
Right.
Well, what's great about that is that you're right in a group of Trek fans also. We're all of us are on the tour. So if you're on the main tour, you go to this sub tour, this day tour. But so that means that all these 20 some people, 30 people, you're going to be surrounded by. So I've got already 3 people from Britain that this is their first time to the Star Trek convention, and on Tuesday they get to be celebrating hanging out with us
At the Valley.
and have new friends all of a sudden
Nice.
right away.
Yeah,
bang. So that's really good.
Well,
It
and
really
it's not.
is.
I mean, it's not like you don't make new friends, at the convention. But this is actually making new Trek friends outside the walls of the Rio, which is
Right.
almost mind bending. But it is. It's great.
Valley of Fire, where friends are made.
Two-way Trek goodness melts all over so well in the desert.
You 2 people meeting
Yeah, we
each
do
other.
it early because it's just super hot out there.
So where did you meet? And I said, we met at Picard's Hole.
Yeah, see, it could be a whole. There could be a marriage.
It's the story you tell the grandkids.
It's so romantic. Picard's Hole was so romantic.
Geek Nation Tours, where the swingers meet.
Oh yeah, sorry. Mike is in the chat room discussing the day that he forgot his luggage. Then we won't be talking about that much. That was pretty funny.
Nice.
We laugh about it now.
We do laugh about it now, but by the time we remembered that he forgot his luggage, we were already past Hoover Dam.
Well past, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were almost halfway to Kingman.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was in the other car, and we got the message over the little CB radio, 2-way radios that we had.
Saying,
We're turning around and going back. Mike forgot his bags.
In my defense, it was the
Wow.
power going out at right around the time that people were
that's
starting to
Well, you had to
So-
end the trip like you started it, Mike.
exactly, which
Which was Terry driving back to the airport in Albuquerque to get
his
my
luggage.
bag.
to get his
It was bookends for the trip. It worked.
It was true.
Oh, I-40
Oh.
love. I-40 love there, yeah.
Well,
No, and we should say real quick too that we've had what's great is having people come back again, especially this year, who've been on the tour before, because we've changed up we're not only added San Francisco, but we've changed about half of the LA portion. So
oh, cool. What are you going to
Yeah.
be doing?
Well, some of the things you keep because they're just classics. So you have to do Vasquez having Bobby Clark come over, tell you in person how they shot Arena, and we have
Gorn himself.
The Gorn himself, who will tell you about what it was like to cut the fingertips out of that costume wear gloves so the sweat would drip out that way when you held your arms down. That's how he drained his suit from sweat. And when they explained the camera setups, because it's burned into your brain, you went, oh, okay, which is what they do at any location. It's like, how do we do this the most, how do we get the most bang for our buck? We sit here, we turn the camera every 5 degrees for different scenes. But we kept that. We have going out to Santa Monica Pier, for all the Voyager Future's End stuff. And of course, Tillman, the water plant for Starfleet Academy, and the photo op, because everybody loves having their picture taken, and they bring their uniforms along, even though it may be warm, for a photo there. But we're going to go down to Deneva this year, at Grumman at Space City, for the orange tile. Plaza
very cool.
And all that. Yeah, we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going to go downtown, so maybe we can steal our own mobile holo emitter and take our doctor down with us down there. And
are you going to Venice Beach?
Not Venice.
No.
They didn't go to. Are you thinking of that Voyager episode?
Yeah.
They didn't go to Venice. It was all there along Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we could, yeah. So, there's a couple more that we're doing a little different. We're going to swap out some places, and so we were keeping the best of the iconics and doing some new ones. Yeah.
Are you still heading up to? Did I hear you right? Are you still heading up to like Griffith?
Oh yeah.
That's
that's
the first day of the LA tour. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because this is since Leonard and Susan. There's the film site out front from that same Voyager from Future's End, where they had the big shootout out by the little scientist statue out in front of the
where Copernicus is. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
but also,
my God.
What?
I'm sorry. I have to break in. I'm putting something in the chat room.
Uh-oh.
That goes with what we talked about to open the show.
Okay, but we were talking about Griffith Park.
Oh, I mean, the thing that's also is a Trek destinational point in a different way is that when they did the huge renovation about almost 10 years ago now, or 10 years, God, Leonard Nimoy and his wife Susan donated like $2 million, and the theater downstairs in the new huge new park is named for him. And the film they show in there routinely, aside from the special stuff, is his introduction and talking about, which is amazing how they dug under the thing and lifted the entire observatory up and dug underneath and to get more room because it sticks out on that point. But now this is the first year that you sit down and watch that film and go in there and Leonard's not with us. So now it's got a whole new poignancy to it. So anyway, I'm looking forward to all that. But
why is he not letting you?
Oh, Nick is still trying to put something in the chat room.
That's probably that's probably best.
No, the last time I was at Griffith Park Observatory was they had just told everybody that they were going to be shutting it down, and then there was the plans. They had like the model in the lobby, and then they had talked about doing this whole foundation lift, and I was like, holy crap, that's going to be huge. And to be honest with you, I haven't been back since, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it because I do know the amount of work that went into this, because this is a historical landmark in Los Angeles. If you've never been to the Griffith Park Observatory, it's a Los Angeles icon, and it is a beautiful building, and
a chunk of it is free, which is something you can't always say in LA.
Oh God, here goes. Seriously? Oh brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to let that slide by right now because I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood.
Up.
Yeah.
That sums everything up.
So for our listeners who might be interested in attending either the single day Valley with Fire that you have in Las Vegas the day before the convention starts, or even the full tour, Larry and Terrace, where can they reach you and sign up?
Sure, they can go to geeknationtours.com and email me at headgeek@geeknationtours.com. We do want to talk about our guests, though, Larry. We got several guests on the tour.
Oh, that's right.
Which is pretty awesome. So Rod Roddenberry's going to come by the first day that we're in LA to talk about his. Yeah, he's such an awesome person, and he's so good at talking about his family, and he's poignant. Like, he talks about how he grew up and that Star Trek wasn't his favorite thing, and now it is, and so we get to talk to him and have dinner with him on the first night that we're there, and we also have Chip coming by. You can say Dreamy again if you.
Dreamy.
I think you're cutting in and out a little bit there, but you mentioned Chase is what I think you said. Right?
Really?
That's right. Yes.
Oh, we are big Chase fans. We love Chase.
Was I cutting out?
A little bit, yeah. We didn't hear the name.
Okay. Oh,
so,
yeah. So
Chase is going to make an appearance. How wonderful!
And we're talking about
awesome.
one or two more names to be
announced.
Yeah. We're going to go by Surrock's place, but it's unfortunately no longer there. So he's changing attention directions. So, and get back to his acting. So, but no, and we go to the place we do go to see Rob is at Lucy's, which is right across the street from Paramount, and it's one of Gene's old watering holes, as well as a lot of the crew, and now especially Nicodell's and Lucy's are gone, and Nicodell's got swallowed up by the Paramount expansion, so Lucy's is still there. So that's it's just an amazing time. And the other thing is, if people are still out there and wondering about going, there is a Facebook page where all the pictures are dumped. Geek Nation Tours has a folder, but there's also a Facebook page. Is that just for the people who've been on the tour, Terrace, or is that for anybody to go and join?
No, anybody can go and join it. Yeah, and so we'll have that going, and we had last year's going already too, the year before. So there's lots of pictures there. But you know who I also want to mention is Dave Rossi. We're going to see him at Paramount Studios, and I love when he comes by. He comes by and he talks about his how he got into Star Trek, and he's basically our dream, like the person that wanted to be involved and got involved and grew up from just a small part to being a major player in the Star Trek family. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
Oh my God, that's amazing! Very cool.
So, yeah, when we're at the lot, it's like the regular tour guide at Paramount, who both times have been wonderful, and then me, and then Dave. So people just come out of the Paramount, part of the tour just bleary-eyed, and their ears have exploded.
And we're already going to set to interview you as we do every year, both of you, at our booth.
Oh,
awesome.
A 50th anniversary dose of
yes.
Star Trek goodness.
And I think we do it on Saturday about 3:00, because that's when the goofies have hit. That's when we get the
AM,
the geeky goodness at the center of Larry.
It's right around 4:30 on a Saturday evening when you kind of look at yourself and you look at everybody you've been with and you go, tomorrow's the last day, right?
We had just finished 9.5 hours with Doug Drexler last time.
Oh my God, that guy's crazy! Guy's crazy.
He was the best.
He's the best.
I had asked him for 5 minutes, and he gave us almost 2 hours.
He yelled at us when we tried to wrap it up after a half an hour.
His wife was giving us the stink eye. When Dorothy was giving us the stink eye, we're like, oh shit.
He's like, I'm not done yet. We're gonna keep going. And I said right on the air, hey, when an Academy Award winner says he's not done, the Academy Award winner is not done.
That's right. That's right. It was awesome.
No, you will see me at whatever 4:30 on the afternoon of Saturday. After, just remember, it'll be 10, 12 straight days of like talking to people. So
exactly.
I'm going to put Tim and Lisa's the Cure recipe to good use next year. I'm going to have to bring all my own liqueur mixes for it and do it myself. I think.
Bring a thing of honey.
That's one of the
honey
ingredients.
Every morning. Yep, teaspoon of honey every morning.
Yep, it's a good idea.
It really you guys, this whole thing is going to be insane this year, and I'm glad you guys are going to be there. Obviously,
we cannot wait. We did, believe it or not, although we haven't gotten confirmation of everything that we wanted, we at least got half a confirmation of what we wanted. So
you know what? I'm going to try to bring our neural parasite with us to the interview.
Oh yes!
Oh, that's right.
We're going to have we're going to have props when we go to our various places, like a Kirk cannon and a magazine for when we go to the Q.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one thing we've added is, and Terrace went in for. So last year at Vasquez Rocks, you can see the pictures. We've got a bamboo cannon, a Gorn cannon, and we have we have a Q Continuum magazine, the new, like from the Suicide Show. We go out to the Q Continuum, that ranch, out in the middle of nowhere place.
Oh, that was a great
had
episode.
A magazine to post.
Well,
so we're going to add on to that this year.
I'm hoping this year we're next to each other again, Terrace.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I've asked them for a place around you guys, so we'll see what we end up with.
Although we did get some nice deals at the vendors that were next to us.
I'm not going to give you any deals.
I can't really be sad for you. You were across from Anovos, and Scruffy Rebel was there, and Victoria is her name, and a whole bunch of there's worse places to be across from.
And to be honest with you, there's very few bad places to be in the vendor's room to begin with, because it's just been awesome. I mean, there's a lot, and it's my understanding there's going to be some new people joining us, some new licensees joining us this year, which will be awesome. I heard a rumor that there might be Hallmark there, so
I heard a rumor that somebody. Yeah. Never mind, I won't.
So that'll be fun.
I've heard that rumor too.
Yeah. That somebody won't be there.
And so we'll just keep talking. And we do need to tie things up for the day. But again, you guys, it's always a pleasure to have you on the G&T show. And again, you can find Geek Nation Tours at geeknationtours.com. Larry, let's talk briefly about where people can find you for Trekland and for Trek Chunk and all the other stuff and Portal 47. Oh my God. So many amazing things that you got working on.
Real quick shout out to Portal 47, which is finally, after years of trying to figure out how I would do this, is my version of an insider's guide for everybody. Like I said, it's my insider guide to savvier fandom. But Portal 47, LarryNemecek.com is still kind of the center, and my Trekland blog and the video chats are still up there, and Twitter is still at Larry Nemecek, and Larry Nemecek's Trekland on Facebook. But I have the Trekland trunk for my archival sales, and of course the Con of Wrath. We are actually trying to wrap up the Con of Wrath in the next year, or on the home in my documentary about a real life true event, Star Trek's Most Glorious Failure, and you can look at that at conofwrath.net. But Portal 47 is I finally launched this. We've got our charter people from last fall going and picking up people all the time. Portal47.net. It's like a mini con all year long, no matter where your center seat is. If you're a new fan, old fan, a bored fan, or you're just tired of the same old in your fandom, and there's so many new exciting ways for everybody to experience fandom, and this is one way basically it's my Rolodex and my memories and my archives, especially my Rolodex, because I'm trying to bring a lot of new attitudes and views and voices of people that we haven't heard from the people that worked on the shows for years. So it's
links
a monthly
will be in the
program.
Show notes.
It's sorry?
The links will be in the show notes.
Thank you guys.
And
but anyway, I want to give a shout out for that, and also one real quick one to Enterprise in Space, which is starting to ramp up big time. If you've ever thought that this idea of the 100+ student experiments on a custom design orbiter named Enterprise, so it's the first real one in space, sponsored by the National Space Society. If you ever thought that was just a cool idea, when you're in the middle of going to saving for Vegas and doing all the wonderful Kickstarters that are out there and all that stuff, take just the $20 and jump in and be part of the virtual crew, because we're really ramping it up, and it's no big deal, and your name is on the first real Enterprise in Space, and you can see it later on, and read all about it and support education for our future kids and generations and all that. But I just wanted to give a real pointed shout out for enterpriseinspace.org and go over and check that out too. But thanks,
awesome.
guys.
When does Larry Nemecek /Shanty open up?
And it's creamy.
We can't do everything for the 50th. We have to save some things for after.
So he's going to open up Larry's creamy goodness on the 51st.
We're going to have a new series with a whole new set of Slash coming out. So
the new Slash series.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. There's even a rumor that we may do a tour after the 50th again.
Wouldn't it be amazing? Oh my gosh.
The world
I know, it's not like Star Trek's going to go away after the 50th anniversary.
I know, it's like, are we going to have a huge hangover in 2017, or are we just...
Probably.
Yeah.
No, we've got a new series that we can talk about after.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Be a whole new group of Slash subjects.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is there any release date on that? Like actual?
It's January.
of 2017.
Yeah,
Oh,
nothing
okay.
more
So,
specific than that, but
Good. That's awesome because we do have something to look forward to. Everybody will be excited about that. I think.
Yeah,
That'd
no
be great.
kidding.
Let's hope
Well,
we're
and the
still
movie-
talking about it in August.
Yeah,
When's
seriously.
the movie come out this year, Larry?
Sorry?
When's the movie come out this year?
It's June something.
So
It'll be right at
very
the con will take place right after the movie. It'll be a few months before the television show, and by then we'll probably start hearing rumors about that. But you never know unless
Yeah,
everybody
it should be cast. I mean, we've had a lot of talk on written this, and we talk about this in my telebriefings at podcast at Portal 47 and every. But no, I mean, if you look at DS9 and Voyager real quick, they were mid-season. They were Januaries.
Yep.
And even though this probably won't be that huge a show order, you still have to get the first one done. So they were shooting in August, and Voyager held up till September because of the Kate mess, the Captain Janeway mess. But they were pretty much cast in June and July, and then shooting in August and or September for a January. So that kind of gives you a yardstick. So we should know, sure.
So we should be hearing some more stuff by the time the con rolls around, which sounds like so much fun. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to Geek Nation Tours. You've always been such a great partner in Star Trek in our fandom, and it's just a blast to talk to you again. Can't wait to hug you both in Vegas.
Terrace gives good hugs.
Your creamy goodness. Yeah.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you guys too. That'll be awesome.
Terrace
And,
gives great
to
hugs
another.
even when Chris is standing there.
It's true. That is true.
from one GNT to another, thank you.
Exactly. GNT.
Thank you, guys.
A lot of people do confuse us when they
That's
they
funny.
think
I never
GNT and
thought
they
of
think
that.
Geek Nation Tours, or they think GNT. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We love you guys a lot. And
Love you too, Terry. Thanks so much.
Oh.
Can't wait to see everybody.
Can't
it will
wait
be
to see.
crazy.
It's going to
Yeah.
be crazy. And again,
28 weeks.
geeknationtours.com and Portal 47. And go check them out because we love these two people very, 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 very much.
Oh, you're like Terrace's wife.
Back at you.
And I know. And next week, don't forget, we are still doing 50 for 50. 50 for 50 is we're covering the top 50 Star Trek episodes in celebration of the 50th anniversary as voted on by you.
So you only have yourselves to blame.
You only have yourselves to blame. And next week, we will be talking about the two episodes that we didn't get to talk about today.
And The Children Shall Lead is one of them.
No.
And next week, I hope to have some unique little tidbits that Alan was able to pull out of the poll as it was coming. Larry, this poll was amazing. People did such a great job, and we put up pretty much a poll for every single series, for every single season, and every single episode, and you got to vote for pretty much what were they thinking all the way to best episode ever. And so there's a sliding scale of so those that made the top 50 really did have to have a lot of very consistent, very good votes for them. And next week we'll be talking about, let me see, it's Azadi Prime.
And some of the results were really, really close.
Yeah, very, like one vote different. It was very close. So it's Star Trek Enterprise, Azadi Prime, and what was the second one that we didn't get?
Unification Part 1.
Unification Part 1.
Unification Part 1 from TNG. So join us and watch those episodes this week, and we will discuss them next week. And I think that was number 30, 39 and 40, 38 and 39. Either
So
way.
let me
I
guess.
think it's 3940.
So Friday's Child didn't make the cut, I bet, huh?
We'll be discussing Friday's Child in a different form of the poll.
You know what that
Okay.
means, folks.
Yikes.
And
Like
The
Friday's
smelly
Child.
fish episodes.
yeah, really.
I like
Wait a
that
minute.
episode.
Don't we stop and see some of that Friday's Child goodness on the tour?
Friday's Child is a Vasquez rock show, so yes,
Yep.
indeed, we recreate Friday's Child. And my whole point of mentioning that was Friday's Child of the original series, anyway, is the most under respected episode of the original
I
series.
like that
But
episode, and it had what's her name?
Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar.
Yeah, Julie Newmar in it.
Julie freaking Newmar, as I always
Yeah,
that's
and that's where
really
Admiral
awesome.
that's where Admiral Akar comes from.
Yeah, I'm not. It's a trap.
a little more
It's true.
complicated
No,
biologically than
Akar
that,
from
but
the books, Terry.
Okay,
Sorry,
It's a
sorry.
name.
Yeah,
It's
Leonard
just a
James.
living galactic legend.
sorry. I was thinking of Akbar. I'm like, what? Sorry, my brain just.
It's a trap.
Were you talking about Leonard? You're talking
need
about
a
Leonard,
nap.
right? Yeah, we love
Yes.
him.
You know him first name basis, sure.
Well,
I call
in
him
the books, I
Admiral.
know him by a first name basis. Yeah.
Yeah, Admiral.
Admiral Akar, yeah. He's
Akar.
Leonard James
Akar.
Akar.
and he's, giving
Chief
Riker a
of
run for his
Starfleet.
money, which is so fucking awesome. Okay. So we need to tie this show up. I love you guys so much. We could do this all day, and that's the problem is I really want to, but we do need to
Yes,
tie it up.
Editing is going to be painful.
Sorry, honey. We love you guys so much, and join us next week for episode 221. And we'll be talking about the 50 for 50, Azadi Prime and Unification Part 1. Until
And-
next week. Oh, what?
And we have an Ask Dayton.
Oh my God, we have an Ask Dayton, so we have to talk about that next week. Sorry, Dayton.
Real quick announcement. A new episode of Straight Outta Gallifrey came out this week, so be sure to check that out, straightoutagallifrey.com. And
Congrats,
you.
by the way, on
thank you.
episode 2.
yep, thank you.
Yay. And when are we going to hear another Gettysburg Address?
I'm hoping to get one done this week.
Awesome.
And play
Cool.
timelines.
Yeah, play timeline, Stowe, you name it.
Say
See in
goodbye,
game.
Kapla.
Again, thanks to Terrace Cassidy and Larry Nemechek from GeekNationTours.com. If you want to join them on this fabulous tour, all you have to do is hit them up at their website and check it out. And also follow Larry on Twitter and everything else in Portal 47, which is a phenomenal resource for all your Star Trek geekdom. Until next week, you guys, join us for episode 221. Until then, live long and prosper.
Kapla.
Thank you. Live long and prosper.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys, and thank you, Michael. I know we added to your burden this week, but thank you.
My pleasure.
Joel on True, haters.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.